Yeah, Strut and the Bros.
Let's go.
SPS. Hit record. Tap in, let's go. Let's go.
Real talk with the bros, we be breaking it down from the clips.
Make sure y'all hit the like button on the way on the account, man. We back again.
Keep it hush, keep
Another
it
full fast
low,
Tuesday.
we debate.
Get in the building, let's do it.
Real talk with the bros, every cap get exposed from the grainy little frame to the wild upload. SPS in your face.
On the way in the building on the account.
You rockin'
Let's go.
real time with the bros. Starting in the chair, hit play, let it run. Most side of every frame saying that.
Real talk with the bros, hit the like button, hit the like button on the way in. Let's go.
Zoom in close, Uno in the back yelling, hey, that's wild, bro. Late night scroll, turn the show, now we on. From the couch to the screen, same joke, same bond.
Hit the like button on the way in, y'all know the count. Let's go.
Hit cold, turn the volume up, let the story get told. Real talk with the pros, we be breaking it down from the clips on your
The like
phone.
button on the way in, make sure y'all hit the subscribe. Y'all know the count, man. What's going up?
In slow mo, was it stage, was it real? We gon' still say so. Real talk with the pros, every
The like
cap
button on
get
the way in, y'all
exposed
know
from
the
the
count.
grainy little frame to the wild upload.
count, man.
SPS in your
Come on, go
face, let
straight
the
up this
whole
time.
world
Y'all know the
know
count.
you rockin' real talk with the bros. Viral in the chat, y'all seen this, yeah. We rewind, freeze frame. Place your bets from the weird to the wild to the just plain. Now we connect, give it God, be the rest. Talk God, big laughs, big facts, little side eye too. Family on the mic with a front row view. Hit that play, hit that like, let the numbers grow. But the vibe stay the same, it's just bros on the show. Real talk with the bros, we be breaking it down. From the clips on your phone to the word on Uptown. Conspiracy talk, keep it hush, keep it low. But we laugh, we debate, let the truth still show. Real talk with the bros, every cap get exposed. From the grainy little frame to the wild upload. SPS in your face, let the whole world know you rockin' real talk with the bros.
Let's get it.
Real talk. Strata mode,
It's the light on the way in. Let's do it. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with the Bros. You are now tuned in to the SPS podcast. I'm your host and moderator, DJ Strata, and you tapped in with the bros. Josh, what the business is, man? What's up, my brother?
Hey, what's up with you, big bro? How you doing?
Cool and cooler. How you?
Man, I'm good, bro. I'm good as hell. It's hot as hell out here. Shit.
Where you at, nigga? It's still sunny outside. Where you at?
Shit, yeah, bro. I'm in Oahu right now.
Oh, wow.
Honolulu
Okay.
already.
That's
Yeah,
what
bro,
it
it's
is,
just
man.
hot as hell.
That's not how
man,
vacation
it's-
going outside to eat, though.
Man, it's going good, bro. It's going real good. My kid already done learned how to swim. We done hit up a luau, and goddamn, we about to go ahead and try to see the rest of the island. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been spending a lot of time down here on the south side of the island, near like Pearl Harbor and such.
Yeah. Hold on, he learned to swim the same day?
Yeah, pretty much. He got he got in the water with his mama, and at first he didn't want to go out go out that deep, but he was on her back, and before you know it, man, I looked up and he was telling her, instructing her where to go, like, all right, we gonna go here. So yeah, he good now.
That's what's up.
Now I need to learn how to fucking swim.
That's on my to-do list for the end of the year. That's one of those personal goal things where it's like, all right, I need to sign up for the class, bro. But I feel you, man. Like you said, that's something where it's like, I got to get around to it. They carve out the time for the things that's important. You know how the fuck that go, man. But without further ado, like I said, I talked to Big Bro Mo. He feel a little sick as shit, man. So we're going to run straight through this, man. You know the count, bro. I know you on vacation. I appreciate man, you know the count, bro. But let's get to the first video, man. The DJ said what? Let's do it.
If you cool like a pimp, put your hands up. Cause you're an actual pimp, put your hands up. If you own a bunch of women, put your hands up. If you gonna hit it all night, put your hands up. If you gonna hit it all night, put your hands up. If you maintain an erection for 12 hours, put your hands up. Without the benefit of Viagra, put your hands up. If you a real life player, put your hands up. If you abuse women's trust, put your hands up. If you treat her like objects, put your hands up. If you a real life gangster, put your hands up. If you kill other people, put your hands up. If you just realize that you're full of put your hands up.
Yo, shout out to Kid Bill, man.
Facts.
Yo, that shit's funny. But what's crazy is that most of the time you really don't be paying attention to what the DJ be saying. Like motherfuckers just be like, all right, I get it. We supposed to act like we hype, but that's some funny shit, bro.
Nah, for real, it is. But and it hit on what you just said about just vibing out to what the DJ doing, bro. Hey, I did that shit. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I downloaded the song when we came here. It's like a new song. What's that shit called? I just want to dance. I just want to dance, baby. That jump. I was vibing to it. I was like, ah, shit, man. Like, this shit dope. I actually listened to the lyrics, man. That shit crazy as hell, bro. It's just called the Ghetto Love Story, and that's exactly what it is. You listen to the song. Like, goddamn.
Two songs that fucked me up, bro. First off, I'm gonna need all my grown men that don't use, don't quote, don't listen to Quiet on the Creek. That's some gamer-sexual shit. Be careful.
Bro.
And I just found out not too long ago, nigga, I didn't know Murder, She Wrote was about an abortion. I think we talked about that shit before in this show.
Yeah, bro.
Niggas gotta be careful out there, bro.
And again, motherfuckers is vibing and dancing to it the whole time. This dude is literally, it's a Jamaican song about abortion. But we all just Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
Like she out there just getting slayed and having abortion after abortion, and we vibing to it. That shit crazy.
Careful out this motherfucker, man. They'll make facts block. That shit gay as fuck. I don't need no homies talking about Quiet on the Creek, bro. Keep that shit where it's at, man. Let's get to our next video, man. This is funny, man. The groundhog gone rogue, yo. This shit is hilarious. The voiceovers make it funny, man. What y'all think about this one? Let's get into it. Make sure y'all like, comment. Appreciate you blocking the building, man. Make sure y'all drop a comment. Let us know you're in the building. Hit the like button. Share it to somebody, man. The link has been dropped in the chat. If you want to join the channel, man, y'all know the count. Let's go.
What you done put in this yard? Is it moving? Oh, shit. Oh, it's a camera. Oh, so you want to watch. Okay. This what you want to see, ain't it, Jerry? Ain't this what you want to see? Me turning your shit up? I keep the ladies, because I am a player. Let me get some of what you snacking on, Daddy. Bitch, you don't see all that on the ground? Jerry, I got a question. How people think they own food that's outside? Guess who's Bizak? Oh, popped up like toast on your ass. What's up, Doc? You didn't know I did impressions, did you? Dr. Sebi say broccoli ain't real, but it tastes real good. You told your wife I was a stupid groundhog, but I eat free, and you pay for food. Who's stupid? Been eating your food, Jerry. Gonna stay eating your food. And when you see me... He's on the camera right now eating it. He's on there right now. I'm gonna go shoot him in his ass. Oh, shit. He's gonna get it.
Oh, shit. Shout out to the groundhogs around the world, man. Like, what's crazy, bro, is I did some research on that video. That motherfucking groundhog was there so much, he ended up building like a little home for him underneath his shit because he just kept stealing the shit. So now they got a residence with the groundhog, bro. I said, these niggas is wild as fuck. Now, next video, bro. This one was crazy when I heard the tape, right? So you know how basketball niggas be talking. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Who's your GOAT? Who's your basketball GOAT?
My basketball GOAT, bro. Ah, shit. Said top three.
Yep.
Top three, bro, is AI, Michael Jordan, and I ain't gonna front, man. I gotta put my guy Steph Curry in there, bro. I gotta put him in there.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that. I like
Yeah,
that,
bro,
though.
because you gotta. The reason why, and mind you, I haven't watched sports, and I haven't been a sports head ever since I left the military, and that's been over 10 years. But I know enough about sports as well as basketball to know that Steph Curry's lineup wasn't as heated as LeBron James' lineup, and the fact that he pulled off, and the fact that he pulled off those championships with you know what I'm saying, with what he had, bro. It's like, bro, that's I fucks with it. Yeah,
You ain't gonna lie. I think it's for me is Jordan, Kobe. That third one always get funny for me because I got like personal favorites and shit. But Jordan, Kobe, and believe it or not, I think. Damn, I gotta think about that third one. Like I want to put Bron there. You know what I'm saying? Like I really do because I gotta acknowledge that man's greatness, right? His basketball IQ crazy, like nigga longevity, like it's worth mentioning for sure. But in my brain, you know, that third spot might flip flop. But for right now, I'm going Jordan, Kobe, Bron. But let's check some NBA players, and they're gonna give a interesting argument for Wilt. Now I know Wilt Chamberlain was the shit, but I was like, let's see. Bron for Kobe in my book. I ain't mad at that, Wardy. I see Bron. Well, no. Actually, I am. You don't know why? I think that the reason, Wardy, the reason why, first off, shout out to you, brother. Hope everything is well with you. The reason why I always go Kobe over Bron was because of that killer instinct. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that Kobe just that it factor, that kill factor is important to me when we talking about sports. So that's probably why I normally do Kobe over Bron. But the longevity cannot be denied. Like for a motherfucker to do it for LeBron to do it this long at this high of a clip, and even what he's talking about getting traded, it still can shake up the NBA. That's gotta count for something. So I don't be mad at people that put Bron high. You know what I mean? Because think about it, even when Jordan was at the Wizards, motherfuckers was kind of like, it's nostalgic to see you, but nobody expected the Wizards to make a deep run into the playoffs. You feel me? So it's gotta count for something. So I don't even be mad about it for real. But let's hear this argument. Go ahead. What you got?
Hey, I forgot my favorite player, man. My favorite player. I can't forget him, yo. Even though towards the end he started shaking a little bit, just so far as his demeanor. KG, man, Kevin Garnett. I cannot leave him out of that shit, bro. I've been fucking with Kevin Garnett even when he was with the fucking Timberwolves and when I was watching sports. So I gotta put KG on there, and that's it.
I like that. There's an argument for Wilt, man. These are basketball players that are making this argument. So I'm curious to see how they got a peep. Let's see what y'all think about this.
I'm sorry, calling cap on some of these old athlete claims. Wilt having a 50 years vert at 7 foot and 300 pounds, and not even possible.
Well, he did it.
Like, I can't admit that these niggas really did that shit, bro. These niggas was freaks.
They did everything but score 100, bro.
I did that too. Score 100, bro. I'm saying that, bro.
Show me the game,
I don't
bro.
know why DJ on it. Somebody, seriously, bro. Somebody that averaged 50 points a game. Stop, bro.
No, let me know when y'all watch it.
He averaged 50 in 24 seasons.
That was a game, bro.
Yeah, bro. I know he got 100, bro.
I watched the tape of the people he played.
He literally averaged 50, cuz. That is crazy. It did follow up with 44 the next season.
He started his career off averaging 37. I'm going out on a limb and say he's the best player ever. Yeah, he's the best ever, man.
50 and 25.
He got MVP his rookie year.
Ever.
In the way that I averaged 50 nigga MVP.
Bro, it was cheating.
Yeah, averaging 50, no MVP. Who got MVP that year?
50.
Bill, I know he
I'm
averaged 15.
What Bill averaged that year?
15. He was killing.
Damn, he was killing too.
See, he was a good Samaritan, though. Will was out here fucking these hoes.
He was, cuz.
So
48 minutes a game.
So
He never came out. He's the greatest athlete ever, bro. He
Chucks,
never came out of 80 games, bro.
That is insane, bro. That nigga was draining shit off the court, coming and give these niggas 50. Does he have a statue?
Wilt the best, bro.
He the best, bro.
His nickname is
He's a
crazy.
wild nigga, though.
They call that nigga the Big Dipper.
Hook and ladder, cuz. That's crazy.
He goaded.
Okay,
Who was
bro.
old hub?
The whipper.
What was on the hub?
The stuffer.
The stuffer is crazy.
Who was on the hub? Damn.
Yes.
Legend.
What you think, bro?
Man, I will say this, man. Wilt definitely had the fact that he was playing the game and it was famous, but it was still early.
Yeah.
Like all the rules that is in now, I doubt he probably would have pulled off that 50 average in today's game. Not including the fact that back then, with what he like with his build and his athleticism, it wasn't rare, but he was like, bro, nowadays what he's doing, probably from your average 5 players on a team, 2 of them can do. Compared back then, you had one that could dribble, pass, dunk, assist, do all of that. Like, yeah, bro, he was. I think he lucked up in being born early and being in that sport early, bro.
I ain't gonna
Real
hold
shit.
50
Something start calling cap on some of these old.
diabolical. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. That's fucking crazy, bro.
50?
I agree. I'm with Block. That nigga will probably get more than 50, bro. Like that's the stat line. Meaning he's averaging 50 and 24, playing 48 minutes. Like this nigga never came out of the game, bro. And I if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if they had a 3-point line when he played. So
Yeah, damn, that make it harder for him.
Yeah, like that means he was really going in, bro. And ain't gonna hold. That's the part where I'm like, yeah, that's fucking impressive. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's a little wild to me. I like it. I ain't mad at they taking. I think being in players, I'm like, for them to know the context and still be like, nah, that's some wild shit to do. I got to take their word of stock for it. I like it. Man. We have some balls up front, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Now, so we're gonna zoom through this show. I want my brother to enjoy his vacation with his fam, man. I appreciate his commitment. But we're here for a good time, not a long time. You know the count. Let's get to it, man. Kid-free men off limits. Kid-free men being off limits. Let me get your thoughts on this. It was a short video, so I might play it twice to make sure that people get the context. Let's see what's going on with this one, man.
I feel like the people with no kids should be reserved for the people with no kids. I was just talking to this girl, and she told me that she has 3 children, but she prefers a man with no kids. And I straight up told her that's selfish. You already took 2 men down. Why should you get the man with no kids? Leave somebody for us.
Let's say that one more time for the people in the back, bro. Let's see what. Yeah, this is interesting. Let's try that one more time.
I feel like the people with no kids should be reserved for the people with no kids. I was just talking to this girl, and she told me that she has 3 children, but she prefers a man with no kids. And I straight up told her that's selfish. You already took 2 men down. Why should you get the man with no kids? Leave somebody for us.
Leave somebody for us. What you think, bro? She tripping?
Yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna front that shit. What she's saying is making sense, but at the same time, if you own your shit, what your friend doing ain't gonna matter to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side, she really do make a valid point. Like, yo, you already done snatched up 2, you know what I'm saying, like two dudes that really won't single. Now you working on a 3rd, and you sitting there over 2 kids, and you got probably 2 or 3 friends that ain't got no kids and would love to be with a dude that doesn't have children. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I get it. No, I was just saying I get it.
I could really argue this shit both ways, bro. If I'm being honest, I could really argue this both ways, straight up. First off, before I get my answer, what's good, my brother?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing,
what's
bro?
up?
Can you hear us?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, I hear you.
Chilling. How's everything with you, bro?
All right, driving on the road, that's all.
I hear that, man. What you think about the last video we just watched? Shorty pretty much was saying that if you're a woman and you already got kids, that you shouldn't be seeking or have a preference for a man that has no children. You think she's more right or more wrong? We lost him. He probably riding through the back. All right, so let me argue it the way she posed it, and I'm going to give you my alternative perspective, right? So I get the logic, right? The logic is if a woman already has kids or has had kids, then it would make sense that the women that don't have children and the men that don't have children should pair up. I like it because it helps us form new nuclear families, right? So I do like the fact that he ain't got no kids, she ain't got no kids. They get together, hopefully through marriage, and then they have kids, right? So I understand that premise. Now, it makes sense. Now, this is where I kind of get off the train with the shit a little bit, right? We assuming that everybody that has kids with baby mama, baby daddy, that your nuclear family can either be repaired, you can go back to that guy, or y'all won't be tumultuous. You see what I'm saying? And I think that that's where the assumption kind of falls apart in reality. Now, also, I'll say this too. She said a key word in that, like the breakdown that kind of gave, I was like, I can give grace. Because you can prefer whatever the fuck you want. She used preference. So even though she's a woman, she got kids, she can prefer to have a dude that don't have kids. But the reason why I would go back to even say that's stupid is because, well, not really stupid, but it would take a certain type of man to even understand that, because he don't have the concept and context of children, right? But some can argue, right, that some can argue the other way, pretty much, that you want someone to have experience in it and that they can still step in and do the job. So I'm torn as fuck on that video, bro. Because like I said, you know, my situation with my ex-wife, like her current husband, he doesn't have any children. He's great. Like my fiance, she don't have no kids. Great. So I've seen it work. But I'm also willing to concede that we're the exception and not the rule. Because what I think normally happens is a guy with kids meet a girl with kids. Everybody know what's going on. Everybody kind of fall in line type shit. There's context. There's things you don't have to explain. There's things you don't have to figure out. But on the flip side of that shit is when you got two new parents, what's really the expectation? Y'all learning this shit together.
Yeah. That's bad.
No. Yeah, my bad. Like, you know, I hate arguing both sides of some shit, but I really
you good.
Out what I agree with more. I don't know.
I mean, shit, like I told you, I'm the type to where in that situation, I really don't give a damn about what my friend is over here doing. If he's slaying 3, 4, 5 single broads, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like, hey, like, because I know in my mind, I'm not secretly crushing on what you working on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck what their status is.
I didn't even think about that angle. That makes total sense. Keep cooking. I like that. I like that logic.
Like, I don't give a damn what their status is, like single, like rich, whatever the hell, yo. Like, the person you dealing with, whether it's a one-night stand or whether you building a family unit type joke, y'all vibing. Y'all on that frequency. I don't.
We lose you a little bit, brother. Alvin, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm up here.
What you think about that? Did you see the video?
Yeah, so I look at it. I guess you can look at it both ways. Like both of you got good points and stuff. Like I said, you trying to play both sides of it. Because even with
Let me mute Josh while they get it together. You got hard
to get in by the car.
Hey Josh, if you can hear me, mute up real quick. I'm not able to mute you on my end. Pop out and come back in, Brody. Yeah, so what were you saying, Ivan? For now, he'll pop back in when he gets service again.
Like even what Josh was saying right then, like we ain't pretty much worrying about what the boys doing. But at the same time, back you know what I'm saying, back in the day though, the men above us did care about what we were doing because they didn't want us to end up in the same situation they ended up in. And I think that's the difference between our generations. Like, we would have mind said, well, we ain't our brother keepers no more. You know what I mean? Like, hey, that's you. It ain't me. But then if it comes to your household personally, if the dude talking to your sister, then become a different ball game again.
That's real shit. So what do you think?
It's like we only care when it's personal.
Yeah, so do you fall more on single men with no children should get with single women with no children, or do you believe in the concept of a blended family? What do you believe is what do you believe more of?
I mean, I come from a blended family, but I still think that the ultimate goal should be the concept of starting your own family. Because, like you say, it's less trauma, less. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just in a way, like I said, that child, we can say as much as we want as men. Like, I love that stepchild and all that kind of stuff. But something in that child connects with their father, even if they ain't seen their father but once or twice every 3 years.
That's
you know, it's just something embedded in them. If you look at the whole picture of the whole thing.
That's a fucking bar, bro. And I say that it takes. And this is something that, you know, on the internet, I don't really agree with too much, right? I don't like how the internet demonizes step parents. That's fathers and mothers, right? I do think it takes a special type of individual to do that shit. So let me be clear, right? But I don't like how the internet makes it that if you do it, you somehow a sucker or you a stupid girl. I think that, you know, you got to do what works for you, right? But I also know I think what you're saying, Ivan, is the most correct thing to say. But I also think that the real thing to say is with the state of where we are as a people, it's going to take a lot of correcting blended families for us to get back to the point to where maybe the next generation, it's like we can reset the standard. But right now, think about it, Ivan, all of us are on the other side of 25 and 30, 35. So I think that's another thing we got to consider. How young are you? How much have you already fucked up in this world before we get to the point where you even have a preference? I think that has to matter too, right? But I think realistically, if let's say we talking about a 40-year-old man, 35-year-old man, you ain't got no kids, the likelihood of you finding a woman that's in that age range where it makes sense and she ain't got no kids is just fucking unlikely. So I also think this is a numbers and a probability game, if I'm being real. You feel me? Like,
yeah,
but you got to make sense of where you at in life too. But I don't know, man. That was an interesting video. When I watched it at first, I had an opinion. I was like, damn, I can actually see the other side of that shit too.
See, and if I look at it from her point, I think she's like looking at it like most men look at it. Yeah, she might got kids, like somebody would sleep with her, but ain't nobody trying to wipe her up. You know what I mean? So she like, well, instead of you messing up my husband, that could be mine. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Just stick with the baby that you got. Leave him alone.
That's a fact, bro.
So I guess that's how she, you know what I'm saying? That's how she looking at it. Like, I'm out here trying to do what's right, do good. But you all in the way when you already mess yourself up. You try to mess up. It's just like you got cougars and stuff that sleep with a lot of young boys. You know what I'm saying? Trying to give us our first experience.
Yeah.
So I guess it's almost like that same concept.
Yeah. And you know what, bro? Ivan, now that you're saying that, bro, I think that because the girl that made the video didn't have kids, I can understand her saying that. Right? To your point, she's like, yo, you taking out all the quality niggas that make sense for me to build my first family, and you trying to remix your third and fourth one. I get that point. It actually makes sense to me. But I also think that, damn, I think that makes more sense to me now, but also I'm always conscious of where we are as a people. And I tell people that unfortunately we can't undo mistakes. So we got to work with what we got. And I think that I don't give a fuck whether you putting your kids with the guy-girl kids and y'all blending it, whether you found somebody that ain't got kids is willing to help you with yours. As long as we keeping these families together and whatever makes sense, I'm all with doing what we got to do to correct the things we know that were done wrong. But first we got to admit we were fucked up. And then we got to kind of take it from there. But to your point, I wouldn't recommend, let's say, a younger gentleman. See, this is where I'm more practical with shit, right? So if you're a young man or you're a young woman, I wouldn't expect you to sign up for that shit because, A, you don't even know who the fuck you are. But I think that this is an age threshold conversation. At a certain age, you have to be real with what the hell you're seeing around you, right? So I wouldn't tell a woman that's 35 with, let's say, 2 or 3 kids, you know, maybe 1 or 2, something like that. I wouldn't tell her to go out here and go find a 35, 37-year-old single man with no kids. Like, that would be a hard sell for him. Now, if you that fly, you might can pull it, right? But I wouldn't tell her that needs to be your bar. It's like, no, you need to find somebody that's compatible with you first, work into how they feel about you already having kids, and then make it make sense in a reasonable way. But, you know, I can see this from all angles. I don't think there's a wrong way here, but I do like what you're saying, Ivan, which is for us to reset and course correct, we have to go through the process the right way, maybe with the next generation. You feel me? Like, they have to know
that's
that,
what
to make this shit right again. But go ahead, bro.
And I think that's what make it hard for people. You know what I'm saying? Like once you go down a path in your life, let's just say you've been taught one way, but yet you made a choice to go down this path of life anyway, whatever. At the same time, something in your subconscious knowing that you did want that at one point, but you just fell in love with who you fell in love with. You see what I'm saying? So now it's like at some part of our mind, we would feel guilty trying to tell another young man to do something different than what we ourselves did.
Yeah.
It's make it like, you know what I'm saying, make it hard to tell that man the truth that you was told because you did the same thing you tell him not to do. And I think that's the part we got to fight, and that's what keep truth from coming from people, like from people, keep people from speaking truth nowadays because they did the very same thing, and instead of trying to provide them with a better way, they just say, hey, I did it. I can't say nothing, man. You can do it too. Even if you got a hard life or a good life, they ain't looking at none of that. They just say, hey, I did it, man. You flunked too. I flunked, you flunked. Don't worry about doing better. They change the standard of living. They bring it down rather than trying to push it back up.
Ivan, you hit the nail right on the head, bro. I think that is a thing that us as a people we got to get better at, which is owning our bullshit and our mistakes, and then also giving a context to our kids. So, for example, like I told you, me and my wife had our daughter. We got a divorce, right? We co-parent our child. My ex-wife now is married, and again, I got a fiance. So the thing is, if my daughter ever asks for the context, I have to tell her the whole thing, which is me and your mother were married. We didn't work out, right? You're here. We had you in marriage. But for you, little girl, you're going to get married, have your family, and stick it out. But me and your mom's fucked up. Thank the Most High we were able to have, people around us to make us better. Shout out to my fiance and shout out to her new husband, right? But that's some rare shit. Yeah. So I wouldn't even set my daughter up to say, hey, because me and your moms do it, that's the path you should take. Or to let her think that after you get married that you can do it a second time because mom and daddy did it. It's like, nah, your mom and daddy fucked up. You got to be better than us in that respect. I expect you to be better than us. Because now you should know this is what happens when you fuck it up. And again, when she get old enough, right now she's 6, right? But I think when she get old enough, we can have the true conversation, which is, remember all them times you had to come to Pop's crib and there was a time when you with me and you missing your moms and you was with your moms and you missing the other? That don't happen if you keep your family together. You see what I'm saying? So I can give her the context by owning my fuck up. Even in my correction, I can still tell her that this is the right thing to do. But that do as I say, not as I do, that shit don't work no more. These kids are too fucking smart and we got to own our bullshit with our kids, bro, because they know better. You feel me? And the line
I feel you,
yeah, you gotta own your bullshit though. Like I'm a huge component of that, man. Like owning your shit so that your kids can trust that you're being transparent in a way the way it makes sense versus like you said, Ivan, well shit, I did it this way and it worked out good. Yeah, but you know it's the wrong way. And it's okay to just lean into y'all fucked up. But I also too believe this, Ivan and Josh. What y'all think about this? I don't bring a conversation with my daughter until she shows interest or asks the question. That way I'm dealing with her at the level in which she understands and working with her at her level of questioning. So I didn't have this whole conversation until she started asking, well, who was Mr. Such and Such and who was Miss Such and Such? Because that was a whole thing. Respect to my ex-wife, which she respect to one with, and they're Mr. and Mrs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she kind of, when she started asking questions, that's when I had to tell her a little bit more, but I didn't do it any earlier than that. You feel me? I
got you. I understand that, yeah.
Question.
See, and that's the thing. I come out of that. So that's why I say I totally understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I try to tell people at the same time, I am that child that, you know what I'm saying, raised with a stepfather and his mother and stuff, and he's seen other kids within the marriage and stuff like that. But on my other hand, I was blessed that my mother was able to get along. All the fathers were able to get along together. It wasn't none of that ratchet stuff where that's the only difference that God, you know what I'm saying, a major difference that God has bestowed in my life to see. Like it won't no men trying to fight one another, none of that. We can come together with all the kids, the other kids, have a cookout and everything. Even to this day, you know what I'm saying? There's no grudges or nothing sideways crazy going on. And I think that's the time that if people can do that part right there, I think it'll change the whole scenario. If a mother could let that stepfather raise that child as if it's his own, then I think that's where the respect come in. That, but the reason why they say it's disrespectful, look down upon them, because most women is not going to allow that man to fully be that man over that house like he should be. And that man ain't going to feel like he even got that authority over that house like it should be because of that child in play. He got to tiptoe around certain things he do.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it real with you, Ivan. Now, this is where I got to talk to the homies on some real shit, and it's going to be cold, but I got to say it because it's true, bro. I would never discourage a nigga from mending a family that was broken, but I will tell the nigga straight up, if you are expecting that child to treat you like their father, you are setting yourself up for disappointment, because we all know where we come from, and we always gonna have a natural affinity. Good, bad, or indifferent. Ivan, I know you love your daddy. You respect your stepdaddy, but I also know that your stepfather had no expectation of, well, Ivan, you gonna call me daddy and that's the end of it. It's like, nah, nigga, I got one of those.
Yeah.
My mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think I'll definitely, my only advice to older men or men that's dating a woman with children, don't set the expectation so high that you disappoint yourself with them kids. They know who they were created from. And as men, you got to respect that and respect it. Even if the man is or isn't shit, that's inconsequential. That's not your child, right? Now, y'all talk about what the whole parenting shit look like. That's between you and the girl and the father, if he is or isn't around. But I wouldn't tell men to go in a scenario having expectations of the child, because you don't know how they're processing it. I've seen it both ways, to where, you know, stepdaddy got expectations and then he get his little heart broke when the kid's like, fuck you, you ain't my daddy. But I've also seen it to where, you know what I'm saying, the kid will be like, yo, my pop stepped out, you stepped up. So in all intents and purposes, you are my daddy. Like, I want your last name. But because it can go either way, I wouldn't advise any man to go into a scenario expecting and projecting shit on kids that ain't yours. Simple.
Yeah, I think that's being naive when you do that. Like I said, my stepfather, I mean, when I was young, he set me down like, look, I know I'm not y'all real father, but just out of respect, call me Mr. So-and-so.
Right.
Or you can call, if you want to, you can call me Daddy so-and-so, but at least ask you to call me Mr. So-and-so. But I want you to know, anytime you want to change it, these are the words you can use. You just ain't gonna call me by my first name. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what was established. You ain't gonna disrespect me, and that's all I want your mom to understand. You're gonna respect me as being an adult first, and we'll worry about the rest as time go on. And as time go on, you start being like, well, sure, Dad, you know what I'm saying? You're in an emergency situation. You ain't trying to, hey, Mr. So-and-so no more. You just trying to hurry up and get the conversation out. Yeah, hey, Dad. And that's how it portrays and keep moving. So like you said, yeah, you got to go with the expectation of, you can't expect that for the authority. And in due time, though, that child, long that mother, like I said, long that mother allowing you to, long that mother is submitting under your authority and reminding that child that this who's taking care of us right now, you know what I'm saying? This who responsible for us. That child will have a better understanding of what's going on. But when she rebel, that child gonna rebel, because every man instinct is to protect his mother.
That's a fact.
And now I'm protecting you from a man that ain't even my father, no way. So when you got that outside, when they can't respect that boundary right there, it separates to make it all for the stepfather. But as long as you keep that boundary, she's showing respect to him, and that child gonna respect anyway, because like, you treat my mother good, man. I like that. I respect that. You showing me what it is to be a man. So a boy will respect that, but when that boy see threatened, he can't help it. He's a man. He's a boy. He's supposed to be there to protect. So that's when the rebellions come in.
I like it. I like it. We having a real conversation. I like this. I like having a convo in the gray. What you at? Where you at with it, Josh? What you think?
Hey man, I ain't gonna front. I'm more so aligned with what you just well, not what you just said, because you spoke before Ivan, but just that's a conversation that you can't force. You either gonna have to let that kid bring it up, or you're gonna have to wait till the situation presents itself, or if you are an expert at being a people person and can not only read the room but just see shit happen before it happened, you can drop that fucking that diamond, that pearl of knowledge on the kid right before he gets in that info, so he can hear your voice in his head. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, that's sort of where I'm at with, especially in those type of situations. You start expecting things, or better yet, it's easy to get let down because you don't meet someone else's expectation, but it's more devastating when you don't meet your own.
I like that. You cooking. I like that.
When
I
you
like that.
when you go in a situation and you like, damn, I failed this. I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got a kid and she got a kid and y'all trying to make it work, but y'all parenting styles are very fucking different. And now y'all are seeing it. So it's like, just because your parenting style is different, don't mean that you're just a bad parent, bro. That just mean that your style and your way works for you and it don't work for everybody else. It don't work for this kid just like it worked for your kid. You know what I'm saying? That's just one out of many fucking examples. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you said, bro, don't go in expecting too much of other people, but don't go in trying to fool and expect a lot out of yourself.
Yep.
At the next stop sign, turn left.
You know what I'm saying? But that's where I'm at with it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Man, that was dope. That was dope, man. We got a lot from the 18.
At the stop sign, turn left onto Pillow Avenue.
15 seconds. That was a lot, man. We're going to keep rocking and rolling, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Drop a comment. Let us know y'all in the building, man. Y'all know how we do, man. Stay dangerous, stay smart. Now, in the same vein as his fatherhood, let's listen to this father's advice that he has for his current
At the
son.
next stop sign,
You know
turn
who
right.
came up with this idea? When we're teaching our children, oh, if somebody hit you, hit them back. Nah, that first hit could be a deadly blow. I teach my son to de-escalate. I teach my son to remove himself from the situation. But if somebody is a threat toward him, I expect him to eliminate him. I expect him to put him down hard and fast. I expect him to get extremely violent. And I expect to ground and pound, so he won't be getting up for a long time. And my boy trained to go. That's prime real estate right there. He better bring his ass home. Safe, by any means necessary. Stay dangerous. Be smart.
Thought. What y'all think?
I'll let y'all cook first on that. Y'all can go first.
I would say based off that's his son in the background, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I would say for that age, then the situation changed when you're that age. Because we all know when we in high school, stuff like that, we know we already got the concept of what man to mess with, what man not to mess with.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So at that age, I would say the same thing for that age. But for a younger age, my son and stuff in a younger age, I would say, yeah, son. I'm gonna teach you how to defend yourself. But always protect yourself by backing away, let the teacher know what's going on. If that child messes with you 2 or 3, you know what I'm saying, or more than 2 times, then you do what you gotta do. But you get everybody at least 2 warnings. That third strike is a strike. And make sure you at least let somebody else know what's going on. Because as a man, you want to make sure that when people tell the story, you did your part as a man, that you're supposed to do to show respect. Everybody should be able to say, no, man, he told him not to mess with him. He can't mess with him. Everybody should be able to talk the same information, testify about the same thing, or how you conduct yourself, and that matters more when you're a child. But that age there, you should know not to run up on that man. You know what I'm saying? Man tell you going about your business, you're not about to bully nobody at that age. You should knock them out.
You know what, Ivan? I agree with you. I'm gonna add another layer to the child part. Maybe 2 weeks ago or so, me and my daughter started going over how to punch. Now, granted, she's 6, right? And the reason why I started doing that is I actually agree with the part that the pop said at first, but he brushed by, but it was very important, which is I'm gonna teach my child de-escalation first. To your point, Ivan, you're gonna get a 1A, bro. Chill, we ain't on that. Relax. But I think that it's very important that you gotta tell a child early and instill with that confidence to set the boundaries with their mouths very early. What they do and don't like, and everybody gotta respect it. But I'm also, ain't gonna lie, but I'm also on some shit to where if I had a little boy, he's gonna be militant even in 3rd and 4th grade. You touch my son, he gonna put you the fuck down because that's what they told him. And he gonna know that from a very early age. You feel me? And I know it sounds harsh, but I think that goes back to, in my brain, it builds self-respect and self-confidence simultaneously, very young, which is I'm gonna give you the tools to handle yourself, whatever. And the first one is always gonna be de-escalation, remove yourself. But once you took them steps, you raise your hand, tell the teacher, hey, yo, such bothering me. You don't tell her, hey, leave me alone. If you touch me, I'm gonna defend myself. That's the line. At that point, my son, if I had a son at the age, trained to go from 3rd grade. You touch him, he gonna hit your ass with a 4-piece because daddy taught him well. And I know that if he hit you, he gave you all the grace he could at his age. And I need him to exercise that early. You feel me? But I get what you're saying, which is you don't.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. So I can see both sides of it, but I think that in the world we living in, to me, what weighs more in my brain is that if I had a son, and even with my daughter, I value them being more self-aware, more confident, and setting boundaries and making people respect them. That's way more important than some boy or snot-nosed girl that didn't get those lessons. I don't mind my kid teaching you that. But I think it starts early, because I think what happens, Ivan, is that when you're rearing your kids in a way to where they assume that the right thing is going to be what happens every time, the world's going to show them really quickly that it's too fucking gray out here. You have other people that don't live by these same guidelines of morals, and unfortunately, they learned that shit in grade school very early, that life ain't fair, bullying is a real thing, and if you don't have this shit instilled in you before you walk out the door, when you get to that school, that is your first dose of reality, and I need my kids prepared early, unfortunately. I hate that they has to be this way, right? But that's just the cold world we live in, right? But I get what you're saying, Ivan, because that's the righteous way. So I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I'm going to say that I would probably, if I had a son, because again, he had a son behind him, my son would probably be militant-minded as early as 3rd, 4th grade, easily. To where he...
I understand that.
You know what I'm saying? He's going to play with his cars. He can be a little rambunctious boy, but he also knows daddy taught him how to turn that switch on, and he know when to do it. That's just me, though. Scan, what's good, my brother? How you doing, OG?
What's good? Just got.
I'm gonna get back
to you.
What's up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you as always. What you think about that, Ivan?
Yeah, I'm with that. So that's why I said I'm with that. The only thing I can say for mine, though, my kids are bigger than most kids at their age, and that's what made it kind of. I had to try to, you know what I'm saying, be careful with that, because my daughter is the biggest thing in her class. My daughter's solid, and my kids can literally get the structure to be bullies. So I'm trying to teach them, like, you know what I'm saying. But now, once he realized that, when he went to the park one day and realized another boy was trying to bully him around, I started letting him know, son, there's nothing wrong with defending yourself. I'm not gonna say I'm the type, you know what we mean. It's okay, you get in a fight, to each his own. Do you win? I'm gonna show you how to win. But at the same time, you gotta realize he with his mother more, and they on the opposite end. All they know is a bigger child beat up a smaller kid or something, but they the same age. So they looking at the physical side. I'm like, if that little child ain't got the concept to leave that big boy alone, then he get what he get. Like we said right then. If we that age and we get older, why would I go try that man? I know he working out every day and stuff like that. I'm gonna respect the man as a man until he try me. But as men, we're gonna respect each other.
Damn, that's real. I see that.
So that's the only thing. That's the only difference where I try showing the righteous way. At the same time, I gotta know if you do it this way, and the teacher called me, I can accept that part. I can stand up for you when I hear that. But if I hear you just went off and knocked the boy out, then I don't know if you start picking first or what. So that's why I try to put it in a way where anybody hear the story, I'm level-headed where I can sit down and agree with what you did, and understand that you took the road that your father said take. So I ain't got no choice but to agree with it.
That's fire.
And also, he can practice that same thing at home with his younger sister.
That makes sense. What you got, Scam?
What's my mic still got problems, or am I good?
Hey, Ivan, you good now?
I hear you.
Cool.
Yeah, we good. We good now, brother. Appreciate you. What you think about that, Scam?
Karate Kid 1 and Karate Kid 2, two good lessons. Karate Kid 2 says, fighting is for self-defense only. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, see rule number 1. Another one was, a couple lessons.
Best defense don't be there. I remember that one.
Oh, that one, that's number 1. Don't be there when the punch is being thrown. Yeah. But also, why are you training to learn karate? And the answer is so I don't have to fight, not so I do have to fight. But I notice people who are trained, are usually probably 80-90% more disciplined when it comes to not necessarily conflict resolution, but when to turn the switch on and when to turn it off.
Right.
Just like
right.
I thought about that. When you see a couple people arguing, when I know Strata, you box, you can tell by how somebody's body position, this person can throw some hands. If you see him leaning, little lean, oh, he about to the feet position in the lean. He about to take somebody's head off. But I like what you said, that you're going to teach conflict resolution first.
Yes.
Has
to be, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of conflict is communication, not physical altercation. And people are less and less and less violent by the year. It's not as bad as 90s. It was a jungle. Like I was saying on another panel, because the starter jacket was the best product ever made. Starter jacket. But you could tell who was fighting by the starter jacket they had on.
No, real shit. Real shit.
Like, oh, that must be wrong. That's the dude with the I see that Kings, that LA Kings or that Raiders. Oh, that must be him. Oh, Florida Gators. Oh yeah, that's Travis. Yep. Yeah, but no, there are people, to be honest, I don't get in a whole bunch of fights that really did not get in a bunch of fights. At home and cousin, and I'm the youngest, so I used to lose all the time. I'm the youngest. But how you carry yourself and how you manage the situation, it's like we were talking about a few times, making the best decision possible and knowing when you're on home game, away game, evaluating the scenario, but the actual thinking and the communicating to manage the entire situation.
Yeah.
Because when you get a little older, it's going to be how many people are around, who's around, where the police at. Am I in a situation where I might just pay the money and walk out? But if your brain is wired, you called me the N-word, pop. Hey man, you stepped in my shoe, pop. What'd you say about mama, pop? You can end up in some kind of situation, because sometimes you got to take the L. Sometimes you live to see another day. Sometimes wait for a minute, then pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
Sometimes let's take this outside. Sometimes, I remember I was in basic training, and the dude kept, I messed up something, and the dude's trying to call me up. Man, we ought to get this. We ought to. So I'm like, I'll tell you what. Why don't you start it off? You. Because if I'd have went about it the wrong way, now I'm fighting everybody. But I called him out.
Right.
He didn't want to do nothing. Awareness. Then I spoke to everybody. Hey, if y'all got a problem with me, I'm not above approach. Hey, I apologize for what I did earlier, whatever. So I solved both problems. You're not gonna punk me. We can get it in. But if I got to, I'm gonna try to dictate the terms. I ain't gonna just crash out and I'm gonna stomp by 3 people. But let me call this dude out. So let me see. I want y'all to see what y'all getting on board with. A dude who don't want to do nothing.
Right.
And I knew he wanted to do that.
Yeah. And most of the time that's the case, bro. You just got to show the bravery in the moments that count the most. And it's a timing thing. Like you said, most people don't assume you'd ever call a bluff. But when you reset the parameters and you reposition yourself to have the upper hand, you'll notice that most people flinch first because they are not really built for the conflict that they're ready to instigate. So you're totally right, man. I think that that's my whole thing with all of it, which is with my current daughter, and even if I had a son, it'd be the same thing. Like their self-worth and having the bravery to set boundaries and people that are out of pocket, I think that solves a lot of shit because people only play with who they're allowed to play with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so like, for example, with me having a daughter, I know that her boundary is going to be with some little knucklehead, snotty nosed little boy trying to pick with her. And he might get 3 girls, then get to my daughter, and my daughter going to let him know, hey, I don't play like that. You don't hit me. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that over here. Now, you can get that off with them, and I'm not even telling her to say that part, but it's going to be understood that this one's a little different. Something about her lets me pause with what other people get off. She's not going. You know what I'm saying? I think that comes from being a daddy of a little girl. That's my main thing is empowerment first. You feel me? For her to set the boundary. I don't want her to be the one that just kind of shrug and we never hear about it because she's afraid to say anything. So I got to help her find a voice. You know what I mean? That's the main priority for my daughter at this age. I'll land it.
I think when she gets 12, 13, the game changes.
Yes.
Because here are a couple things. Number one, females will knock another female's head off. That hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Boys are fighting a lot less, but it's still not necessarily acceptable or in a natural nature for boys to put hands on women. But if you have a son, it's a little different. They will take his head off. Less than 1995, but they're still who will. And then that whole environment thing matters more. A girl who's a punk or a girl who takes it is way different than a boy. So like when you size up your scene and make your decision, sometimes you might have to make a decision that's an L. I had to step up to some fights that I did not believe I was going to win. Thank God it didn't happen, but I had no choice. Somebody's calling me out, they're doing something, and to step up or deal with it every day. And I had to step up.
Yep.
For a girl, that's maybe a little bit different because it's a little survival versus stepping up to something when they get older.
Yeah.
When she's 5'2", when the dude's 5'11", or when it's two girls that act like boys, women can take certain L's and avoid it in certain ways where a boy might have to come home socked and swole. So
that is an excellent point.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
A woman being a punk isn't as bad. Actually, it's worse a woman coming home socked and swole than being a punk in certain situations.
I'll give you that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you,
Cam. Home socked and swollen and it's acceptable. And it's
not
as much.
I ain't gonna always, I think of my daughter because there's still a lot of hood shit in me. My advice would be, because you know girls travel in packs, right? Pick the meanest, loudest one and go right in her mouth. And once you stomp her the fuck out, most of them are just gonna watch and do the oh my god, or they're gonna be recording their phones. But I see your point, which is, you know, it is a different thought process with me having a daughter versus a son. But I'm gonna have my daughter trained to go either way. But to your point, she has to have that intelligence to know, pick your spots well. Timing is more important than what you think you're trained to do. Time is everything. But I was always taught
befriend some savages.
Yeah.
A cute girl that's befriended by savages.
Yeah.
That's a fact, bro. That is a whole fact, man. I appreciate y'all, man. We cooking up on the little layup videos, man. That's gonna be a dope stream, and we're gonna keep it pushing. Let's go into another vein here, man. Let's get into some more of the Nolan Wells cases. I thought this was interesting. Let me get y'all thoughts, and then I kind of share why this video basically it's very short, so I might play it twice. But make sure y'all hit the like button. Again, the stream y'all link is in the chat. Y'all want to chop it with us, man? We up here. Let's get to it.
How you treat people. Be careful how you treat people, man. You know what I'm saying? See, it's certain people that God don't play about. I happen to be one of them people. You know what I'm saying? Be careful how you treat people, man. There's a scripture in the Bible that say, touch not my anointing and do.
Very short video, right? But the context behind the video is Rachel. If you all have kids, you know, she has a TV show that she does on Netflix where she teaches children, you know, developmental skills, how to count, do ABCs. And she's racially ambiguous for the most part. I think she might be of Spanish heritage, but she does pretty much kid shows, right? But recently with the Nolan Wells case, she spoke out on her social media saying that she just wants justice for him. Whatever happens, she needs, you know, for there to be justice, or at least what she's looking for is for us to have finality to the whole Nolan Wells case. But what's interesting is that a lot of people were then unfollowing her or like not rocking with her no more because she had an opinion stating, and I think in the video you kind of see it, it's real blurry because it's real quick, but it pretty much said that I thought you were about kids. Now that I know, I have to unfollow you, which is ironic because Nolan and Dee was in high school. So what are y'all thoughts about that? But that's the context behind the video.
Can you say, I thought you were about kids, but what? Can you say it one more time?
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up on the screen and pause it. I might have to pull the, matter of fact, let me pull the video from my video file so that way I can pause it so we can see what's on the screen. Give me 1 second, fellas. Let's do it like this.
Treat people. Be careful how you treat people.
Right here. Let me make my screen wide so I can see it on my end. The comment underneath says, now this has nothing to do with children, which was always your agenda. Definitely unfollow. So that's the context. That's something that someone said to her based on her making that stance on Nolan Wells. That's the context.
That's petty.
Yeah.
You were gonna unfollow her anyway. Let's be real.
Yep.
But the adults affect the kids. Kids are watching this whole scenario. Kids are followers. But the person can have a right or opinion. It wasn't like she said something that was extreme on either side.
Right.
Because I was trying to think, who would be upset with her saying, I want justice? Would a Hispanic person say, hey, I thought you were one of us? Why you? Even then, like, I can't give you a reason. And she never said anything out of bounds. This side is nothing in balance. I just want justice. And she didn't say what justice. Yeah, just go ahead and unfollow that person. I don't know what they're following in the first place.
That's a ball. I like it. What you think? Let's go Ivan and then drop.
I'm about like him, man, because in the end, you're hurting your own child. If this woman is what's helping your child get the education they need, and you talking about babies. That boy high school, about out of school, whatever. But if you're gonna sit there and you know what I'm saying, deprive your child of learning the proper way because you're upset with what somebody said, then that's your foolishness. Like, she's gonna keep doing what she's doing. She's gonna keep making her money or whatever it is she's doing. Her child gonna be wherever they need to be if she got any. If you want yours to be dumb, and that's probably one of the reasons why our kids can't read now. They get mad at the auntie or the cousin that surpassed them, that did want to take the time to help their child, but the parent got mad and just said forget all of it and kept, and you know what I'm saying, kept the child away from the ones that wanted to help them. That's the problem we stand in today.
That's real shit. That's real shit, bro.
My mic still got feedback.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit of feed on the back end. That's cool. I just mute you in between.
All right.
We ain't gonna make no big deal about it. You know the count scam. Josh, what's your thoughts, bro?
I mean, you squeeze the tail of a cat and that motherfucker gonna sound like a cat, or at least it's gonna yell like one. I say that to say this. Fuck that bitch who commented that bullshit. Because that person is the type of person to where if it come to find out that every person that's dealing with this Nolan Wells case is guilty of something, whether it's hiding or whether they actually committed the act then tried to hide it, those are the type of people that will be making excuses for those type of motherfuckers.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? And to go back even further, because on the last topic, you know what I'm saying, you skipped me, but that person is the type of person where I'll raise my child not so righteously. I'm not saying that I would raise my child to do unrighteous shit, but I have to teach you the unrighteous way so you'll know how these unrighteous motherfuckers think and their methods. Before anything, I teach you about your awareness. Because depending on how you react, will carry the entire situation. Will carry the entire story of the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where all of this gray shit come in. There's a video I saw, well, not even a video, it was a movie about Johnny Depp played the gangster and his son was, and the mama was saying how the son got caught at school hitting the kid that was basically being a bully. And Johnny Depp character, Whitey Bulger, boom. And the character told him, what you did wasn't wrong. You just did it at the wrong goddamn time, son. You did that shit in front of the teacher. She don't know what the hell going on. You automatically the enemy. Wait till you're alone. Wait till you're at your goddamn locker. Wait till you're in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? And it's fucked up that I even got to tell my son, I'm glad he's asleep right now, the sort of, you know what I'm saying, that the sort of carry yourself that way, because like you said, man, you sitting here trying to set your kid up like right will always prevail, bro. That is not like that's not reality. Sadly.
Yeah.
It's how it's supposed to be. But you know what I'm saying? Especially in days like this, you raising a goddamn colored boy. And again, it's fucked up to say, I'd rather either see you come home and alive or talk to you through a goddamn phone in jail. I'd rather you be on some Carmelo Anthony shit rather than some Nolan Wells shit.
Shit. That's a good question. Pause right
But
there. Because this is that state right there, Josh. I like that a lot. Cam. Based on outcome, would you rather your kid be Nolan Wells and Departed or Carmelo Anthony and in prison based off how he handled a scenario?
I already told you my answer.
I can't give you one because it's like with the Carmelo, it's gonna be. I told you not to get down like that. That wasn't the option. That was a bad decision, and now you have to live through a death. Versus you out of here. Versus, one's a quick death, one is a slow death. But the main thing is, I'll have taught you how to manage this situation. I told you not to pull it. In his head, my dad told me I wasn't supposed to pull out that blade. I was supposed to manage the situation different. The boat, if there was a level of knowledge, I'm assuming we don't know if he was aware or not. He's not here.
Right. That's fair. That's a fair point. You're muted, brother.
I'll just try to balance. Let's say both sides, I told them what it was. You shouldn't have got on that boat. I told you not about playing them away games. But you thought you thought that you was gonna get something free and y'all was gonna party something, Now people, somebody be having a house party and the parents and you think it's a free, I'm gonna go have fun, they got food, whatever. Everything ain't always free. Now you go there and something happened and you in it.
The cost.
Yeah. You thought you was gonna get something for free or everything was gonna be all right. And you could just step out of bounds and be okay. I don't know. Either way, it's screwed in.
Okay, that's fair.
That's a rough one.
Yeah, I thought like that was the point.
Both of them got their bad parts.
That's a fact. This is like the lesser of two evil question. Ivy, you with us, brother?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So Josh posed something earlier before you hopped off. He said, given the scenarios that we're currently facing in the news, he said he'd rather his son be Carmelo Anthony, meaning imprisoned, in the situation, than having the outcome that we're seeing with Nolan Wells. I know it's a fucked up, difficult question to ask, but I have to pose it. Which do you think makes more sense?
Yeah, I'm with Josh. Yeah, that's just simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real shit. Because like you said, it's just like, man, this is a bad scenario. But again, I think it goes back to the first video we watched with the guy that says, by any means necessary, I want you to get home to me alive. Right? You can deal with consequences and bad decision making. We're going to go over the game takes, and you might have to sit down a while based on how bad your decision making was, right? But I'd much rather at least get a chance to see you, still talk to you to correct it. Because most consequences, even if we're talking about prison, they're not forever. They're life altering as hell. Don't get it fucked up. Like, he will have a totally different trajectory of life from even the small time he's in. Let's say he gets an appeal, I'm talking about Carmelo Anthony, and he was to get released tomorrow. That is not the same young man that went in prison at all. So there's a different type of mentality that he'll develop just from being in there, right? So, but I much rather tackle that obstacle than to plan his funeral. And I think that's the obvious answer, right? But I don't know. Like, in my brain, all of this is fucked up, right? So the idea is that we can proactively make our kids empowered to make the right decision, even make the best decision that gets them here safely without fucking with their freedom. But if they had to choose, I'd much rather them be a convict than a body bag.
I don't know about.
Yeah, that's
okay.
how.
Go ahead, you got it.
And the only reason I say that, man, even based off, you know what I'm saying, based off the spiritual side of things, like sometimes, you know what I'm saying, just being an honest person sometimes will land you in prison. You know what I mean? So it's like, so it don't supposed to be something that we supposed to be afraid of, because we already know when you've been an honest person and stuff like this, everybody else is going to turn against you. So it's something that we also prep our kids for, the worst case scenario based off what you're standing for. So it's not totally a bad thing. Long as I said, I don't want him being there for nothing. It's crazy, but if he's standing on something that's true and fast according to him, what he's saying for, then yeah, I'd rather send him behind bars for it.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie. In a perfect scenario, and I'm gonna let you go, Scam. In a perfect scenario, what I would want for my son or my daughter, I'd rather you come to me alive to get my take on what you have to do next than you making a rash decision in the moment. That's the perfect scenario. I'd rather have to correct. You probably should have went inside their mouth for that dumb shit. Or if I was in this scenario, I probably did. But I'd much rather walk you. I would much rather walk with you through the game takes as a free person and alive than to have you in the moment trying to make a decision you might not be ready for, which is, do I want to go back to my mama and daddy in a body bag, or do I want to do it in an orange jumpsuit? I'd rather you just bring it to us and then we re-strategize. Like, let's take it back to the war room. That's the perfect scenario. So I didn't want to be disingenuous by eliminating that option, because I did kind of pigeonhole y'all with some very wild, dark decisions. But that's my honest answer, is I much rather my kid be alive to bring it to me so we can run down the next steps than to making the wrong decision in the moment. You got it, Scam. That's in a perfect world, though.
Yeah, I just don't see Carmelo. Little dude, his mindset as a 17-year-old. I see 35 years as death. That's what I see. I see it as a slow death. I don't see him coming back and being a regular human being. That's just me. Me at 17, I'm not, like, I ain't gonna sit there and lie to you. I'm not built for prison. I'm calling it quits. Now, I don't get down with all that stuff that get me there, but
yeah,
somebody telling me 30, facing 30, yeah, I'll just go ahead and risk it all. This life, give me life or death.
Oh, damn, that's an interesting
I don't see him
angle.
as the person. Yeah, I don't see him as the person going to prison, making it out and coming out and being a minister or whatever. I don't see this going a good way.
No, that's the fact. You know what I think will happen, though, Scam? I think that because of,
I still got feedback.
Fortunate, unfortunate enough, right? I think that because of how he's in there, I do think that once he learns the politics of where he at, he can have a decent enough routine. But I'd be ignorant to say it wouldn't change him. He's definitely not the boy that went in there. Even if he did a week, he's not going to come out the same person, right? Because he's so young. His brain ain't even always developed. So his brain is literally going to develop in prison. I do think it'll be, to your point, a slower process to reacclimate him to the world, right? But I ain't going to hold you. I would still much rather talk him through, walk him through, visit him through how to do his time so that I can put my arms around him without a glass in between us eventually. But that's a longer process. It's definitely going to be a marathon, right? And even as we're talking and appeals might be happening in this case, right? That has to be the best hope, which is this is fucked up. So we're not going to sugarcoat anything, right? Now my advice has to change from what I would tell my 17-year-old little boy to, you about to be amongst men. Just go a little different. The boundaries I was trying to teach you at 10 might get you fucked up if you don't understand this early. Speak when spoken to. Say little, think more. Like, now I got to give you street knowledge that I know everybody, that's the status quo here is that we expect you to understand these things, and if we gotta
Crash
teach you,
course.
probably gonna hurt. Yeah, I gotta crash course you to kind of mentally prep you for where you at. And again, it just grew them up a little quicker and a lot more violently. But I think what you'd be surprised though, Scam, is that a lot of people that sit down for that amount of time, it's not as treacherous as HBO or Cinemax would like us to think. A lot of it is simply respect. They just have more dire consequences because you're around men. So something as simple as how you clean your bunk. When you was in my house, I'm gonna tell you clean up your fucking room, and I might yell at you if I had to tell you twice, and then you might get your ass whipped for not being a clean person, doing what you say you're gonna do. I've been trying to teach you that as a man, but in there, it's like all of the lessons still apply. They're just on steroids. So as long as you are upright enough, I would argue that the likelihood of something violent and crazy happening to you is more slim than we think because everything is politics in there. Meaning they gonna realize you ain't banging. You know what I mean? So you ain't no Crips and Bloods approach you like trying to get you down and poke you up. It's not a bunch of gay men in there waiting to hump you. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, these are all one-offs that they do to prison. I'm not saying this. Yeah, like, we're not gonna take away what it is because the main thing I'd be worried about, Scam, is less about his environment and more about his mental breaking. I'd be more concerned about his mental breaking than anything outside of himself make him in an exceptional fucked up situation. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if he's in for murder, he's gonna be in with the savages.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Versus somebody doing some fraud or something else where you can do your time, play cards, and go home. Or at least that's what I have friends that have been to prison. That's what they tell me. Like, you can be a civilian on normal terms. You can be a civilian, do your time, and be easy. But if you didn't if you done something and they group you with the savages, you got to play by savage rules. So,
State prison.
Yeah, meaning like the murderers, the rapists, they put them on this, or the people get in trouble while they in there. They got to run with the savage and play by the savage rules.
True, I'll give you that. That's fair. But I ain't gonna lie, I think that or my hope would be, because first off, I don't want to ever experience this for me or with none of my nieces and nephews as a father or as an uncle. But I would argue that the best you could do in that scenario is pray what you instill in your child before that mistake can get them through this more extreme circumstances. But I still think the same rules apply. Principles are still principles. And again, I would hope that what I told them is ringing in his ear more in that type of environment, to where clearly whatever I told you prior, it wasn't ringing off when it should, because now you in jumpsuit. But hopefully now when I come visit you, that the voice, my voice can be a little louder in your ear now, because it's more dire that it has to be. Because this can really get dark for me. No way, I can't protect you. Now we can react, but I'd rather not. That's something you can't be proactive about. Like, I can't do the time for you. You got to do your own time. But anyway, that's just interesting. That was a pretty interesting bill. But I do want to keep into this Nolan Wells, man, because I found another video scan that's a little interesting. We're still waiting on results. So just for an update for our people, we've been kind of covering this for the last few shows. Here recently, Scam, I do think that they have concluded the autopsy, right? And Alvin, they've concluded the autopsy of him. It hasn't been released. And I think that the prosecutor might be in front of the grand jury. I think that's where we are with this case. But nobody has been arrested on either side for any wrongdoing. But I do believe, based on the last thing I read, is that the initial autopsy was done, has been submitted. We just don't know the results of it. So I'm going to give that context before I play this video. But I do want to get y'all thoughts on this, and then we'll keep rolling through the show, barring any more information, any more updates. Let's get to it, man. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, man. And again, the link has been dropped from earlier comments. I'll drop it again if y'all want to join the conversation, man. Let's do it. Let's get into this video, though.
Hey guys, I want to do a quick follow-up to the post I did on Saturday, because there were some things in the comments that really need to be cleared up. So let me break it down to you quickly. Nolan Wells was found face down, water off Horn Island. But there's some things most people don't know about how a body that's drowned actually behaves. So I want to go through that right quick. Number one, the sinking. When someone drowns and air is in their lungs, it gets displaced by water almost instantly. And that means that the body typically sinks in minutes, not hours, and it doesn't float far away from the surface. It just goes straight down. And why the body resurfaces, and that's for a number of reasons, right? The body doesn't come back up for 1 to 2 days, guaranteed. If they're larger, they might maintain some buoyancy, but you can see Nolan's body he was very, very lean, so he didn't have a lot of fat. So that would not make him a candidate for staying up for a longer period of time. But it's not the water, it's when the body starts to decompensate. So you have gas and bacteria in the gut that starts producing gas, and it starts immediately right after death. And with warm water, it can accelerate that process. And that bloating can bring the body back to the surface in about 24 to 48 hours. So that timing lines up, with what we found. Here's the issue. There's a key question that pathologists ask. Did he drown or did he die before he hit the water? Because if someone's alive, when they go under, the water gets pulled deep, deep, deep into their lungs. That's what causes that protein and fluid and foam that I talked about in the first video. And even microscopic algae from the river or the area that they're in will show up in their lungs and show up in the bone marrow. So if someone dies first, their lungs will stay dry. Why this matters, in this particular case, right? The independent autopsy could not examine the lungs or the airway because they were removed, which is exactly the evidence that it would take to answer this. So that's why the cause of death is still listed as undetermined. So my issue is that if the state has that particular evidence, they've already drawn that conclusion that he drowned, why is that not being released so that the independent autopsy would not be needed? Point period. This is not about pointing fingers. It's about understanding the physiology behind these things and the normal procedure and protocol that pathologists go through in order to make these determinations. I hope this.
Fellas, what y'all think? Queen T, what's up with you? What's good, love? So that was interesting, right? Y'all kind of get the gist of that?
For the most part.
And I know that we still don't have any conclusions to draw because, like you said, the original pathology report hasn't been released as of yet. But I think what he was explaining is if he were to drown, now help me because, again, I was listening. It's like I can catch it and follow it and I'll lose it again. So what he's pretty much saying is if he were to have been drowned while hitting the water, he would have popped up instantly, or do I have that backwards?
Yeah, it's just saying he would have swallowed the water. It would have been inside his lungs and stuff, the algae from it. So he still would have sunk. First thing he would have did was sunk. I think he said, but after it would have been 24 hours based on how big you are, it take the gas and stuff in your body to start to, let loose and you float back up.
Okay. The dead man
as well as the location of where the body was. That too.
Right. And so I think that what he's saying is we can't even assume any further than we know what should happen, but until we can confirm whether water was or wasn't in his lungs or determine whether he was killed prior to being dumped or whether he drowned.
But then he's saying they took out the evidence you need though.
Right. Right.
That's the part I ain't understand.
Right. Now, keep in mind, y'all, so my listeners listening, this is the part we all speculate. Nothing has been confirmed, so to be clear on
you have arrived at Helena Blow Lookout.
This is just all of our thoughts. But I do want to get y'all speculation. Based on what y'all saying, is it enough for y'all to lean any further one way or another based off what we're hearing?
I got some questions.
Okay.
Bart, I got some questions. That's his name, Bart?
Yep.
Okay. When somebody drowns, they're in the water by themselves, swimming, struggling, choking. How do you get the body back up to be able to talk and be telling them, Nolan, don't die on me now? Because he'd be floating down 16 feet down you're yelling down. You can't see his body because he's way down there sunk somewhere. And you're telling him, don't die on me now, and he's listening? That don't add up. Bart, you killed him. Bart, what did you do? What does Bart have to do with a body that's deep floating? Unless you threw him, even if you threw him overboard.
Right.
Let's say you tossed him over there. It doesn't make sense to say, Bart, you killed him. It's let's go get him. He can't swim. Help him. Throw him a rope. Go in there. It's not you killed him because you don't see him. Like the language doesn't add up.
Yep. And I think,
picture yourself as picture yourself. He's drowning. How is he in the water drowning? It's not adding up.
Yeah.
It's just not. I'll leave it there.
Pretty much your point, Scam. The beginning of the tow truck call, or the sea tow, which is the name of the company that towed the boat. The beginning of that call, the context wouldn't sound like that if, to your point, it was accidental, or even if it was negligible, it would have sounded different. And I would argue that the first phone call would have been to a tow truck company, but someone that could render immediate aid if everything was above board, right? And so we could put it on drugs, blah, blah. But something I found interesting is that we have the narrative more that he could have been drinking, could have been using like drugs. I found that out before the toxicology report came and before y'all even decided how he's not with us no more. I thought it was very interesting that somehow we can know that he was drinking and possibly taking drugs, but you can't tell me how he died. That's a little wild. That's all I'll say.
He was doing it. Everybody had to be doing it.
I'm gonna say this, man, and I ain't gonna speak on it no more. Well, not even no more. Fuck that. I just lied. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. What the fuck make you think we can trust the state of Mississippi? Look up, and I'm not talking about their racist history. I'm talking about look up their law history and just how they have botched most cases that involve either young black and brown males and females, especially when you look at their fucking medical history, bro. Comparing it to the Caucasian female and the black and Spanish and Latina female when it comes to birth. But that's a whole nother topic to begin with. But I say again, what the fuck makes Mississippi state officials think we can trust their fucking word, especially on something like this? You said it, you said it yourself when you was like, how the hell we know alcohol, drugs, and 2 potential fights were involved, but motherfuckers still don't know how this kid died, how he was killed. You give the body to the private autopsy guy, but you keep the parts that we fucking need to determine if his death was, if he actually drowned. Because again, think about it. This black kid drowned, wouldn't these white officials be putting everything, especially if there was water in his goddamn lungs and his throat and that protein and all of that shit? Wouldn't you think that would be one of the first fucking things they would put out in order to, hey man, y'all leave these white chillins alone. They ain't do nothing. That nigga just can't swim.
You're right.
Come on. It's bullshit.
I agree with that. I totally agree with
Come
that.
on, man.
Bart, I'm adding 10 on.
10 more years.
I'm trying to say, look, if we go ahead and knock this out within a couple weeks, y'all come forth, get snitched on, we'll take 25. Now we're up into 30, 35.
Nah, for real.
But other than that, we can start electrocuting, zapping, and gas chambering, because this ain't what it is. And I want everybody. I want the state officials. I want the fingerprint, the person sliding the body to the left, to the right. I want everybody now. I'm talking about the people with the suits on, with the stethoscopes. I want everybody. Names, faces.
For
real. Maybe only 5s and 10s, but something. These people can't keep floating around like that. Funny,
you
I said
gotta sit down.
But,
no pun intended.
Yeah, we gotta make some
like
changes.
And here's two more developments that I've learned recently. So at first, Bart had lawyered up, and I thought that he did a cease and desist for people that would slander his name. But what he did was he got his lawyer to clarify that the pictures floating around wasn't the right girl. So out of everything his lawyer could release back to the public, the only thing he's concerned about is that niggas put up the wrong picture of the girl that he allegedly made. That's the only thing that his lawyer had pushed back on.
Was there a story
the
about
black kid did.
the girl? Was there a story behind the
So
girl or something?
Yeah, so the story right now, she's in a timeline because scam. The original thought was Nolan was on their boat. He left their boat and met a girl. That was the first thing they said, and that he never returned to the original boat that got towed, and that he didn't come back with them because he was with this girl. People did more digging, and allegedly this girl that they were speaking about was the alleged girlfriend or love interest of Bart. Yeah. And so his lawyer, once that started kind of making his rounds, the lawyer's response to that was, y'all have the wrong picture of the girl. Not that I didn't date her, not that Nolan wasn't talking to her. Y'all have the wrong picture. And the other development, and there's two more things, and I'll let y'all, kind of muddle over this. The other two developments is that a Mexican guy and a black girl from two random places threatened one of the kids' stepmom, which is a judge, and told them, like, fuck you, blah, 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 blah. They've been arrested. And that's where we are.
The problem is we got grunts going against. These are grunts on the ground going against the mob.
Yeah.
It's the playing field ain't even.
It's a fact.
Meaning there are some people that may want to step. I'm almost even want to give some grace to the girl or one of the people who may step up because now they know what they're playing against. It's different when you want to say, look, man, let's do the right thing. I'm going to say what happened. And somebody giving a picture of somebody pouring gasoline on your daddy's house. Or they show you a picture and ask you, do you want to see your little brother, your mom, or your daddy ever again? Or they saying, hey, you know how we get down, right?
Right.
Because remember, these kids, just some girl, 17, 18, 19.
Yep.
And they saying, hey, you saw what we just did, right? You know how this really can go. This ain't just regular people. So we're talking state of
That's interesting. Yeah, this is messy.
What you think about it? It's right in front of us. We might can't get what we want, and we know. We don't know what exactly. We know something ain't right, and we might can't get it.
Damn, that's crazy. You with us, brother?
Yeah, I'm with you.
What are your thoughts so far on everything I kind of, because again, we slow walking this case as we find out new stuff, and I'm just trying to keep it all abroad with things that either been confirmed or that I've seen. It's like, okay, this has no bias, but that's what I've gotten so far from the case. Where you at with it, based on what you heard so far?
I'm with Josh on this one, man. You ain't gonna get it. Like, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta look at it like you said. You ain't gonna get the truth, man. Like you said, once that man said that, they took away the parts. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with this man's body when he get the body, but now all of a sudden they look at it and the parts from the body missing. That right there's enough to tell the story.
And I'm gonna keep it real, Ivan. Just to add on that, bro. What normally happens is that when the state pathologist performs an autopsy, right, and someone on either party or either side requests a secondary autopsy, what normally happens is those two medical examiners, they'll meet, compare notes, and talk about how they differ. So, because we understand that, again, organs can't be dissected twice. They can't be analyzed twice. So normally what happens is after the second medical examiner performs their autopsy, then the original person that did the autopsy and the person that performed the second one, they meet and compare notes to see if who's right, who's wrong. It might be like an intellectual wit battle, but normally, even though we would like to think that in movies, it's like when a second pathologist says something totally different, they're normally not that far off. It's normally one was more thorough than the other, and they have to concede. Somebody has to concede that this one is more right than that one. But it's only one body. You see what I'm saying? And I can't make something exist that doesn't exist. So, and also, integrity is a big thing, because if your job is to simply report on how someone died and your career is based on your integrity, then the last thing you want to do is to be defiant, loud, and wrong, because this is a game of wit. When we're talking about these type of people, these are intellectuals, right? They pride themselves in doing good work, and they pride themselves in not having a bias based on the context of the case. So that's what I thought that was strange, is that the first person that performed the autopsy didn't really seem to have a lot for the independent medical examiner, and they took it straight to the grand jury. So the findings have been in, we just don't know what they are. So I want to be very clear that the original autopsy has been completed, and it now sits with the grand jury, and none of that information has been released to the public. So if you've seen anything online with somebody talking about, hey, I got the autopsy, we're just not there yet. You know what I mean? But from what I can gather, the first autopsy that was inconclusive, whatever results they got, which would be the toxicology report, the analysis of the organs, the lungs, and the throat, that has been submitted. I just don't know what it says. And we don't know what the conclusion they came to. So there's that. I don't know, though.
Yeah, we had to get more information. Because another thing I look at, the same way Miss Rachel said one statement, and they wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, to fry her and make her famous just off one statement. You got to look at, people look at that stuff and got a tendency, like we said earlier, biting their tongue.
Yep.
Because they can lose their job too. Everybody's job, people's jobs get on the line when you talking about serious cases like this.
It's more than jobs.
I got a question for y'all. Go ahead, Scan.
Yeah, I'm like life, jobs, ethics, and all that stuff go out the door for a lot of people.
And I was gonna ask y'all that, like, what matters more to you, your integrity or your livelihood? If you was put in a scenario to where it's compromised, to where people are heavily suggesting that you fudge something like this, what do you do as a medical examiner?
That's a rough. It's the rules to a fight. If you fight, the goal is to win. But if you feel like it's worth fighting and losing, then you fight and you lose. But I understand somebody saying I'll live to see another day. I actually understand it. I hate it, but this person got a pregnant wife at home, and they know how to get down. Maybe they're saying 3 years from now, I'm going to live with it. I'm going to pray every night. I hate I got to do this, but 3 years from now, I'm going to get them back. But it sucks. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I ain't going to hold you.
Because almost like with politics and stuff, you know how they had wives and stuff divorcing the husband and all this stuff because of who voting for who? It's almost like the same thing. That this person could be on this side of the fence, but their spouse know them, but nobody else know them. So that's why I say all that stuff come in play, man, when you talk about cases and stuff like this.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I think that I tell y'all this a lot. This is a theme in my life. I enjoy when I close my eyes at night. I don't think that I've been a bitch ass nigga for the day. And I think that in this case, because my reputation is based on me being unbiased and objective, even with a threat, I'm gonna just have to see how good you are on your threat. You just got to show me. And it's fucked up scams, because to your point, I'm not just making that decision for me. I'm making that decision for everybody that loves me and everybody that's connected to me. But I'm willing to take that risk to where you're just gonna have to show me. And I'm gonna, whatever it is, it's like, yo, I don't like, and I think that's probably would be how I would explain it to someone that tried to nudge me, is that, listen, I don't control the outcome. Now, as a courtesy to you, I can tell you what's gonna get released if I really was that afraid, but I'm not changing it, because now I run the risk of a few things. I can become an accessory versus an aid very quickly based on fudging this shit. And I think that part to your point earlier, Scam, which is if you're gonna do it, you were gonna do it anyway, and there's nothing I could have did right, wrong, and indifferent, right? You'd always had something on my head. And before I let you take me out, or before I go to prison, I'd rather die righteously knowing that, nigga, it is what it is. And if you kill me, you're just gonna bring more attention to the very thing you're trying to hide. So I would leverage the fact that you doing something to me actually poses way worse if you're somebody trying to threaten me to fudge it. That all you're going to do is make this more loud. So the very thing you're trying to stop by coming to me, offering me money or threatening me, it's going to get dark if it leaks out whatever it is you're trying to do. And I can live with that as in me. This is what it is. I can't make it do or say nothing more than what the fuck it's saying and doing. Simple as that.
I want to say it could be simple. But
okay.
3 years ago, you cheated on this exam, on one of these medical exams. And the doctor next to you know about it. Or that other time we made a mistake, both of us. And I got it rigged to where it's on you and you don't know that. So now when you're talking about, hey man, what's up with it? 3 years ago, that body, that Asian guy that was, got burnt in that fire. You notice what the document really said, and it's your signature right here, right? Simply saying, you don't know. There's so much that could be behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And man, this could be because we're talking about some people in some real deep stuff. And some people where you might want to stand up and you still lose.
That's a fact.
They still say, no, that ain't what happened. Nope.
Yep.
He lying. Next thing you know, they put you in the fire.
That part. Now you on trial for going against
2 years ago. Yeah, and 2 years ago, look at it. We can't trust his word.
Fuck.
This is what happens to though they blow it up more. This is what has happened to police officers who before a lot of body cam type stuff get caught up in something. Kind of like some training day type stuff. Now we know your name when you got your fingers on something. You in this, bro.
We got some dirt. And I ain't gonna hold you, Scam. I think that in my mind, this is why I'm always the person to where, at least on the internet, it'd be very hard for anybody on the internet to embarrass me because I'll lean into the truth before I let you do it.
I understand what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? Like before I let you try to chain me with it or leverage it against me, I'll blow all this shit up together. I'll take you with me. We'll go together. And I think that again, that I like sleeping well at night knowing that you can't hold nothing against me or leverage me in any type of way because of whether I made a mistake, whether I did some malicious shit, I've never lied to myself about who I am. And I ain't gonna let you hold that over me because I got a little guilt. We'll lean to this shit together. We'll die together. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Whether it be reputationally, professionally, but you're going with me. Because, at some point, but I get your point, though, Scam, because I understand that that's not everybody doesn't have that thought.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and again, let's make it more complicated, Scam. Let's say that the ME has any type of ties to any of them kids on the boat. Or you the ME, and based on what you say next, can get someone you fuck with a lot of years. What do you do then?
This is a small town in Mississippi, right?
Yes.
It's more of, this is one of those things where on the outside, it looks so simple. But if you really saw what was going on the inside, it's not that simple.
Yep.
Like police,
totally
like politics, like upper level management and certain things, or a mob and whatever they in. It ain't just that simple of he did this, this is wrong, it's a bunch of extra stuff.
Bunch of great shit. I totally agree, Scam. And I ain't gonna lie, I think that in scenarios like that, bro, I would lean more on take me out of the equation by me just being impartial and letting y'all figure out how to spin whatever the fuck I say. But I think, and if we're being honest, Scam, think about it. That's kind of the route that ME took initially based on what was reported back to us which was he found it at first inconclusive. So with that answer,
okay,
he didn't. Right. I don't know what happened. That's pretty much what the ME said based on what we got released before he was finished, which was he was kind of shrugging, like, I don't know what the fuck happened. And I think that was kind of his way of removing himself, even if he know what he saw was real or wasn't. But I also think that doesn't help your case in this scenario because there's so much nefarious shit happening that you shrugging would make you almost complicit, whether you wanted to be or not. So if your goal was to stay out of it, by being so much other dumb shit happening, you look like you're implicated more for being nefarious versus you just making an honest assessment.
I understand it. We want to say that everybody's supposed to be 100% down for the cause. We want to say that.
Right.
But let's be real. One person that you don't know, you walking down the street and they're getting jumped by 15 people. You see blades, guns, and then the police are in front of you saying, don't come past this line. And the civilians and you don't even know what's going on. You may assume something ain't right. Are you really going to just go throw everything away to jump into that situation that you don't know? Versus it's your wife. Then yes, you're getting in it.
Right.
But I can't blame the person who might say, you know what? I wish I could have. If it was a little different, I could do it. Or here's what I can do, or here's what I won't do.
Right.
Nothing wrong with just sometimes if you throw a rock in the air and hit one dude in the back of the head and run, you did something. But you can understand.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it all. And it wasn't your fight. If you was you and your brother, no, you got to get up in there.
Yeah.
But it's just that dude and you knew something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm not armed. I'm not I'll record. I'll do something. And it's not about being a punk, but it's about when you take something on. The rule of conflict is when you're in it, you're in it. No matter if it's political, what it is. When you say, I ain't getting down like this, or you did, you're in it.
That's real. Damn, that's real.
And this dude got a pregnant wife at home and a 2-year-old. Let's just say that. With decision.
Yeah. Fuck. That's crazy, bro. Damn, Scam. I wasn't expecting, like, I get it. Again, I think that's just a stubborn.
You got a daughter. Bro. Josh got a son.
Yeah.
Something way out. Now, North Carolina, I get it. That's y'all's people.
Yeah.
But this over here is something different and you don't fully know. Might make the best decision possible.
Okay, meet me halfway, Scam. What do you think about this? If you're in an immediate or compromise scenario, I would probably pass that shit up the chain because I don't want to be involved at all.
That might be I found this inconclusive and then never said anything afterwards.
That might be what happened, which is get me the fuck out of it. I don't have the expertise. It's just too inconclusive. Somebody above me figure this shit out because I don't want to be in it.
Hey man,
that might have been what
we know it. This don't look right, but I'm not doing y'all's dirty work. I'm not snitching.
Right.
I'm not jumping in the fight, but I'm not doing y'all's dirty work. I'm not doing that.
Damn.
I wish I could fix it, but I can't.
Fuck, bro. Shit. Because think about it, Scam. And this is where it gets fucked up for me, Scam, because in any other case, this is what normally happens. You get one of two things, right? You either have an ME in a pathology lab that works completely independent of any politics by police or prosecutors, meaning, motherfucker, we gonna do our job and we're gonna release to the public. How y'all spin it is on y'all, but nobody's gonna say we didn't do thorough job. So you have that archetype to where the police and the ME, they're completely independent, they never merge.
Right.
Then you have other cases, you have other scenarios to where the ME and the DA cool as hell. The ME and the investigators know each other. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know the dynamics between this ME department and the prosecutors / detectives / cops. So I can't say I don't know. But I have seen in documentaries, cases in the past where I've seen it work both ways, to where the ME made it harder for the DA to make the case. And I've also seen where the MA, they provided the smoking gun because they went the extra mile for the DA that they were cool with. But it's fucked up because, like, I don't know. I've seen it both ways. And I just want to put that, like, offer that as a convo. As I've seen it both ways where the ME acts completely independent of the prosecutor, meaning they'll get their results and literally make it public. And the DA be like, damn, you did that too soon. You showed my hand too quick. Or I've seen it where, like you said, it works. But I've seen it both ways to where the ME is very explicit. We don't fuck with y'all. Y'all gave us a body. We gave you answers. Go figure it out. I've also seen it where they work in concert and help weave in the pieces that might be confusing. I just don't know what the hell is happening here. I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't.
bad news is Nolan was a somebody.
Yes.
On the shady people side, the bad news is this was a somebody. Because if it was just some dude, nobody be asking so many questions. It'd just be whatever. We take their word for it. Drunk. Oh, it's another.
Right.
Unfortunately, and I hate to say this, poor Black Hispanic female, she was a runaway. That's what I mean. And it's easier for them to check a box, move on, because nobody's coming to ask the questions.
That's a fact.
It was a somebody. Somebody's asking questions. No, he played football. He come from a good family. We want to know what's up.
Right. Yeah.
But the bad part on the other side is, he was a somebody, but we are also somebodies, and we're going to let you know what type of somebody we really are.
Right. And we're going to make it so obvious that, and and again, that's what makes it so fucked up, is that, to your point, Scam, this is the gift and the curse of the legal system. I don't give a fuck about what you know. You got to prove it in court. That's a totally different animal.
And we run the court. The court's in my backyard.
Yep. That part. Now I got home field advantage. Good luck. And that's kind of what I'm seeing happening, Scam, is that everybody on that boat, everybody around these kids have decided, prove it in court if you want to do anything to us. We ain't telling you shit. We're not going to make it easy. That's what I'm starting to get a sense of. They're going to make you prove this case, bro. Period.
I truly believe.
You're not helping shit.
I'm a little more lenient.
In some cases like this.
Oh, go ahead.
But you got
it could be a woman. In some cases like this, man, I look at it could be a woman responsible, and they're gonna all hide her. You know what I'm saying? We all looking for men to do this stuff, but it'd be just as simple as that, and everybody gonna gather around her to give her the best life she can have.
To protect it. Damn, that's interesting.
You gotta look at stuff changes when it's a man doing something and when it's a woman doing something.
Women are easier to threaten in program.
True.
They gonna get a hold of her and she's gonna say what it is. She's gonna read that script. It's too much riding on the line.
Yep. I just think that now this is where I can be a little petty, and I like playing the race card when it leverages us in the right way. I tend to believe, and this is a bias in me, that Black people have enough morals to where in a scenario like this, I would argue if we changed it all, fuck it, let's make them all Black. Somebody would have said something by now. Let's keep the kid white. Somebody would have said something by now, because they're like, I'm not carrying this shit for none of y'all. Fuck this. You scared me at first, but it's getting out of hand. I got to say something. I do think that is a very keen difference between Black people and white people. I will argue that we change and flip the race. Somebody would have came forward with, I can't hold this shit no more. I got to say something. Y'all think I'm right or wrong about that?
I think the bigger thing on the race, and I hate to say this, because I always say bad behavior is bad. Most things are not necessarily equal across the board, but they're across the board.
Right.
One thing that is not across the board, my daddy gonna fix this. Let me call mom and get the attorney on the phone, and the attorney knows your first and last name and your address. That is not normal. Even in the Detroit, the Baltimore, the whatever, Atlanta, if you do even know the judge, the attorney, and the whatever, we ain't connected like that. We're not as Black.
And you know what? That might be what it is, because you know what?
We know it. They don't. That level of entitlement, a 17 or 18, 19-year-old talking about, hey, let's cover it up. Something they probably never even seen. They only seen this on TV on CSI Miami. But they already know. Oh, I had to call Uncle Tony. I had to call the lawyer and listen to what he says and stop talking and delete my Instagram. That's already somewhere in their subconscious mind to go and do. Hey, stop. Or somebody in that thing. Hey, stop talking, man. Stop talking.
Yeah.
That's not us.
Somebody had a wherewithal. Damn, that's not in us. And you know what, Scam? You're going to make me have to concede what I just said earlier. My offering isn't exact because I will argue if we put privileged black kids that had the local mayor, commissioner, judge in their pocket, they would get the same advice. Shut the fuck up. Let them figure it out. Do not make this easier for them. Be quiet. We got it from here. I think we would probably respond the same way as black people. So, because I only made the scenario one-to-one with the children, but I didn't add that other element, which is influence, meaning all black kids, all black city, white boy goes overboard, but all the kids on board are the judges, stepkids, you know, some DAs, police influence. I would argue that even the black people would be like, you're going to have to prove this in court. Am I wrong?
I don't think. Yeah, I'm saying even the Atlanta, if it was Kwame Kilpatrick or Ray Nagin or somebody,
yeah,
which we don't know if they're really mob bosses or not, because they could have just threw that on them. I mean, we don't want to know, but let's say they were. It's on some mob boss type stuff, but it's not going to be the same with the entitlement factor.
Oh, okay.
The entitlement factor of I can get away with this. I've only seen black who think they can get away with something is usually a form of undiscipline versus entitlement. You get what I'm saying?
That's fair.
I'm not going to get caught. I'm going to beat this dude up and we're going to run and I'm going to get away. Versus when the cops come, I'm going to look and look him in the eyes and say a couple of things and they're going to let me just walk off. It's different.
Right. Damn. Okay, I see exactly what you mean now.
We know that when people come to ask us questions, we know that we don't want to be in that seat. You saw the dude in that interview, how comfortable he was lying?
That's a fact.
He was comfortable. Oh, I'll do the interview. Shit. Me, you, and Strata dropped a body in the ocean.
Right.
And freaking, I don't know, Pearly Things says, hey, let's come do an interview and talk.
Right, what the fuck? That part, Scam. You know what? I needed to hear that because you're asking. Right. That ain't even happening, bro. Damn,
being comfortable?
Very.
If I was up there talking to Pearl, you and Josh would be waiting on me in the parking lot.
Exactly. We turned up tape. Yeah, we destroying cameras and shit. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. That's a fact. And we have a conversation. At the very least.
And Strata, you know I hate this because I don't like people using crutches when they always talk about. But this is where it really gets down to it being a reality.
Yes, I agree. They do have a brashness against them that isn't normal. Totally. Josh, what you been thinking, bro? I know you've been enjoying that Hawaiian sun and shit, but come back over to the dark side.
Bro, to go back to the original question, man, I would, if I was posed to do some immoral shit on a case like this, bro, and if like my safety and the safety of my family was involved, I would play ball until I chose a time to bring every last one of them motherfuckers down to the kamikaze myself. I would recognize y'all are a powerful enemy, and this ain't gonna be no David and Goliath type shit with me. I'm gonna have to be y'all errand boy for just like I said, just for a while until I know the time is right to be like, you know what, everything I done recorded, everything that I know, like the right people are gonna find out, and the right people are gonna be y'all enemies, because powerful people always got enemies. And I'm gonna land there.
Like that.
Hey, that's solid. Strategic, patient. I rock with that.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to bro, man. That was good, Josh. I like that. I like that. 'Cause in my mind, I'm like, yeah, see, this is why, even as brothers, we have different takes. I'm like, my first thought was, who the fuck you talking to? Like, you're gonna have to give me some hard proof that in this very moment, you're gonna allow me to leave and then prepare for you threatening me. You got me fucked up. We got to figure it out.
Nah, bro. And see, when they start moving like that, it's like, you know what? You already telling me that you comfortable enough to throw your weight around and you don't even know the type of person I am. Okay, fine. Yes, sir. I'll do it. I'll go ahead and do what you want. But in my logs and in my personal shit that I'm keeping, whether it's in the woods somewhere or in a goddamn safe in a bank somewhere, like, please believe them shits is gonna see the light of day.
Okay, so you keep leverage and exposure for when it's needed, if it is needed. I could see that.
No, not if. It's always gonna be needed. The only time is when I'm gonna release this shit. Because I know for me doing the shit that y'all ordering me to do, I know I'm going down with y'all. I know this. But the only thing is at least y'all ain't gonna be in a position to do what the fuck y'all doing anymore.
Okay. I can get with that. I like that. Listen,
if I get away with it, cool.
Right.
But
this is dope. To be continued, man. We're gonna put another big pause button on the Nolan Wells case until we get more information. I appreciate y'all brothers walking this convo down, man, and y'all doing it in a way that is realistic, logical, and considering factors that doesn't have us arguing about hate black, hate white. This is bullshit. Like, that was very it was a nuanced conversation that I like to hear when we talk about this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's make it real.
I got to drop. I'll see y'all.
For sure. Appreciate you, Scan.
Hey, peace out, Josh. Peace out, Ivan.
All right, bro.
All right. I got one more video I want to get into before we end the day. And again, I do apologize. I will probably run it to 10 because I know Josh is in the sunny skies of Hawaii and in the beach and shit. I'm like, I just appreciate you being here. You feel me? Like, we had it for 2 hours. I took 2 hours out of vacation, so I ain't gonna be that stingy brother. Like, YouTube will be here when you get back. And I don't want to hold this time, but I want to get one more video in and see what y'all think about this. I think I want to choose a good one. Damn. I'll just go with the next one in the line of play because I think this kind of plays toward the same thing. Let's go here. I got it. Let's go. My apologies, fellas. I got a lot of videos. Let's go. Taxes versus truth. Let me get y'all thoughts on this video.
I hate Republicans because they white, and so I'm going to vote for these Democrats, and they ain't done nothing for black people.
So, first thing I want to say, brought up tax revenue from the feds. Louisiana gets more from the federal government than we send to the federal government in resources. My state actually needs the federal resources in order to meet the needs of the American people. You can ask Jeff Landry yourself, if the feds cut that federal water off, if he can meet the needs of the people of Louisiana, he's going to tell you no. When the SNAP stuff was cut up, the reason Jeff Landry was in such a tizzy is because all of the grocery store owners are reliant on the ability of those SNAP customers so that they can pay their grocery bills as a grocery owner. So Donnie Rouse, who owns Rouse's Groceries, he was concerned about whether or not the SNAP benefits got paid too, because if the people who get SNAP benefits can't pay their SNAP benefits, don't get their SNAP benefits, they're not in the grocery store spending their money with Donnie Rouse. Okay, so when the legislators in the Republican legislature here were concerned about that Fed money, they weren't concerned about their poor white working class workers. I'm not done. They weren't concerned about their poor working class white voters. They were concerned about their business owners who were going to not be able to meet their margins. Second part, when you talk about the money, that's our money. When black people start talking about an investment from the government, that is our tax dollars that we have paid to the government. And everybody gets to ask for their tax dollars to come back to their community, but black people. When black people, You just said we want the government to do it. No, I want the government to be true to what it said on paper. If you're going to take care of the damn roads and bridges, take care of the roads and the bridges in my community too. If you're going to take care of the parks, take care of the parks in my community. In my community, around the corner from me is Glen Oaks High School. It flooded in 2016. When it was repaired, they spent $16 million to repair it. When Baton Rouge High was built, they spent $64 million. When the school that my daughter goes to was built, they spent $60 million. When they built the Struma High School in the black neighborhood, they spent $20 million. I asked them, do the curtains here cost less than the curtains that you put on the building on the other side of town, or you just shorten the black kids over here?
I want to know why you're giving them $45 million for both of their buildings, and we get 16. You're going to propose 2 new schools, so the curtains up here must be cheaper than the curtains that you build.
I'm gonna cut it there. Damn. Thoughts, fellas? But let's go with you, then we'll go with Josh. What you think about that, bro?
I don't know. I look at that stuff, man. I be looking at the fact I don't care too much for government assistance like that, because right, I'm a financial coach, right? And when I go over people's stuff, man, it's just that we got bad behavior when it comes to finances. Like I can literally go in somebody's household that look like they struggling, and I can take over the stuff and put in my own thoughts into it, and I can make them come up. You know what I'm saying? Because of restrictions. So my thing is, and a lot of things that keep us, like I said, keep our community down at the same time. I mean, I know they fussing about the taxes and all that kind of stuff, whatever. But my thing is, like, we got resources out there, but we just don't use. Like, you got food banks out here. Anybody can start a food bank that can actually pay less money for grocery and everything to take care of the whole community. But we don't think about stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's other assistance out here that we don't look towards, because we look at the fact of our tax dollars going to all of the people with the kids out of wedlock and stuff like that to take care of their families and stuff in that nature. At the same time, while they're getting government assistance, they also got the uncles and cousins and nieces supporting them as well. So it's not benefiting that whole as a community when I look at the whole picture and layout of it.
Okay, I got one follow-up question for you. What do you think would be a better use of our tax dollars if technically even the government assistance is cyclical? What do you think should happen to our tax dollars if we don't use it to help those beneath us? What do you think we should do with that money? It's got to go somewhere, right?
I look at it, so I look at it going back into, like you said, back into the construction of the roads and stuff like that. And things in that nature, like, you know what I'm saying, building the environmental plan, the electrical plan and stuff, you know, stuff that helps everyone. But for right now, if most of our test dollars, all the argument be about, like you said, it's about basically food stamps, what it's basically about. You know what I'm saying? You're saying the store won't even stay open unless they get the, what you call it now, EBT, whatever, unless you got that assistance for them to stay open. So you mean tell me I got to buy groceries for my house and support grocery for your house for the store to stay over here and stay open?
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying that the principle of it. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Like, this is where I think, all right, so I'm gonna meet you halfway and I'm gonna let Josh answer. So here's my thoughts. I don't have a problem with my tax dollars going towards government assistance because I'm a product of that. And it really did help, and I would argue that the loud few that fuck it up make us have a skewed view on the average person that really uses it. And I'd offer that Black people aren't on government we're not on government assistance the way we're portrayed in the media. If you look at the numbers, we statistically track based on how we are in population versus us being on these systems. So it would make sense that the majority of people that even benefit from these programs are white people because it's more of them than us, right? But it does get bad because the one lady that's ratchet that sells her food stamps, or she goes to the grocery store and buy lobsters and crabs and shit, that's become the running joke when most Black people are just trying to make it, right? So I will argue this. I can see what you're saying only if when we were using these tax dollars that they were distributed evenly and equitably throughout the very community I'm paying my taxes in. But what I can't stand for, Ivan, is we're going to cut SNAP and the benefits for those that are disenfranchised, but I still got to drive my car over the shitty ass road. or the school my kid went to is 3 times less. The budget is 3 times less than the white one in the neighborhood, because now it seems like y'all are picking and choosing what you want to do with it. And so if it's not equitable, I don't say remove the rug. I say, well, fuck it. If we're gonna play this dirty game and you're gonna make it so our schools are less, I'd rather you give it to the people that need it, because I'm gonna have to pay taxes. I can't get around that, right? Hold on, real quick. Queen T had a good point. The roads, they already have money allocated to all of that. A little bit of money can go to the people. And I think that's my point, Queen T, is that I don't have a problem because the taxes have to be paid and they have to go back to the people. I don't like that if we strip this program, we don't get anything in return for that, right? But if now, think about it, Ivan, now if they told me we're going to cut SNAP, but we're going to bring all of our schools to the same standard, now I'm in a dilemma. Damn, what do I want to vote for? But we know that's not what's happening. And I think that because we can't hold our local government to task to make the demands that we need of them, like we haven't done those steps yet, I'm cool with it being how it is. Use it if you need it. It is what it is. The money got to go somewhere. I just hate that the leg of remove the program, there hasn't been enough equity in how our taxes are distributed for me to believe that if you remove this program, you're going to make it equitable for those same kids that are in need on the back end. You're not going to make their schools look better. You haven't done that. The roads are still shit, right? So I think that I could agree with you more if we had proof of concept that by removing this program, you're going to reinvest our taxes into something that's equitable, that is an alternative that helps us all. But if they can't do that, fuck it. Keep the snaps. Keep the food stamps. Keep running them EBTs. Because again, at the end of the day, it's a circulating dollar, Ivan, in my opinion. And I think that guy explained it beautifully, which is, yeah, she got EBT. She's going to swipe her card. But without her swiping that card in that same grocery store, my groceries going to go up. Because now they can't hit their overhead as a food line, because the SNAP EBT that's on that card, that transfers the real money to these businesses they spending in that, right? And so it's almost like it becomes cycler. So the very money that we put in the poor people's hands, they putting it back into my local businesses. I'd much rather have that than for them to remove it, and now my groceries got to go up because they don't accept food stamps because they ain't got it no more. Now we all struggling together. So if I hadn't invested somewhere, I'm cool with the government programs. You feel me? A shout out to Queen T. Shays at the Strata. You know that money won't come back to us. Most people won't receive it and need it. Lowest form of humanity is feeding someone. Dragging the poor is low-hanging fruit. I agree with that. I kind of do. Let's get your response back to that, Ivan, and then we'll go to Josh, and then we're going to put a bow on this show. What you think about that, Ivan?
Yeah, so I understand that version too. But the only thing with that stuff too is within the programs, most of the money get lost and advocated everywhere else before you even hit the snaps. And that's the other thing about that part too. We talking about a small portion, a quarter of a portion of what's actually that we put in. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say again, the reality of what a food bank is, I can go to a food bank, I can donate $300 in that food bank, and that $300 can now feed the whole community. That same $300 can feed at least 10 families and more under the food bank category laws. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is, we can literally get more stores and more produce going the way of the food bank than what we're doing with EBT. My thing is to make the little we get expand as much as possible. That's the only thing I'm looking at. Now that I understand and start looking at how all this stuff goes, that's the result I came up with, basically, you know what I'm saying, the finance world and stuff like that. Other than that, I can give you $300, $500. You can go sell yours and do whatever. But I can get that same, and that's only for one family and the family you sold it to. When I can take that same $500 and donate it to them, because they get all the food and stuff for a lower price. So they buy it and speedily a whole lot even more. So that's why I said that's the way to start your own little stores and everything without even the assistance.
Yeah,
and come out more to put that money back in your pocket.
Here's what I'd much rather happen. I'd much rather, if they're gonna cut the SNAP benefits and all this shit, I'd much rather them give that money to you, Ivan, as a financial coach, and have it so that, okay, if you take less money, we're gonna bring in Ivan that's gonna show you about financial literacy based on how I'm gonna help you maintain what you currently have. Because again, you only here because you don't have it, right? And I think that being hungry ain't a crime we should punish people for. And if I got to pay taxes anyway, I'd rather them have it. But if I were to meet you halfway, meaning if you're going to cut the budget on the things that those that are need, then you got to put it somewhere to where I know for sure there's something tangible that we can get these people better results. But if you can't replace
they have a better outcome.
Yeah, like if you ain't doing nothing to change the outcome, fuck it, let them keep having it, bro. And again, I think that, you know, as a kid growing up, and you know, you got to, because again, we old enough to where we had to take the food stamp, like it wasn't no damn EBT card. It was literal
The money.
paper
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was the
Monopoly
book.
money.
You know, I
Yeah,
remember the book.
different
So it's
colors,
like,
blue, green, and red.
and again, I don't even want to think about what our life would have been had it been, all right, y'all had to go to food bank low, and now you just made 4 boys that's in a house with a mama start relying on other shit to just make sure our stomach ain't growling. I don't think that nobody in Birchie would have wanted that for us, to where because you cut it, now you're gonna have to deal with everybody in that house finding alternative ways to get to it respectfully. Like, and we know people that still got to it, right? So I'm not saying that it's been an all. I'm just saying that when you start pushing people in corners like that, and they got to choose between eating and other shit, I don't want to be the person that has to deal with the ramifications of he did it because he was hungry. That's a different type of, you know what I mean? That's a different type of person you release into the earth. That's like, yo, it's either take from you or starve. You got me fucked up because I'm gonna make you give it up. But anyway, I get both sides of it, right? But in my mind, to build a bridge is driving, because I see what you're saying, right? That would be.
And I also think to do that too. Like I said, we need to push. That's what I said, man. The thing is, if you're gonna do that, at the same time, we need to push these men that's having the babies with these women. We need to push them in the same house, man. That's the facts for the whole thing at the same time. Cause all we doing at this point is pushing the men out, and we as a collective group of men and women as well is paying back towards another man's responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, if they was to just do that part, that's when they had shotgun weddings back in the day. That man had to take it to ease off of that woman. They had to stay in there with them kids and stuff like that. That right there resolve a whole lot of the problems. And then if they in that situation where they can do, then you get them more to help out in that situation. Cause at least they trying. Now you can say they trying, because you got people now using it as a weapon.
Yeah, and you know what I found too, Ivan? This is another thing that I don't like about how we speak about those that need government assistance is I think that we also assume that those people know all of the resources they currently have access to, right? I will argue that most women that are out in the trenches like that, or men that need this shit, they know about the food stamps, they know about WIC, right? They know about the free healthcare. But if you told them, hey, did you know that you could also go to school based on your income base, and we could pay for your community college? You just got to sign your name here, and you can start classes tomorrow. See, they don't know shit like that. And I think that that's where I hate the fact that we go all or nothing, when a lot of it, I think, is just educating people to where it's like, all right, you already are beneath the threshold. So we know that life is already going to be tough for you. But as an opposed to just sending you EBT card, we're going to keep sending you monthly printouts to where we're going to also send you the other side of this, which is also because you are beneath the threshold. Let me show you everything you do qualify for to help encourage you to get off of it, not because you're trying to hit my deadline, but because you now really don't need it. And I think that that's the other side of this shit that we haven't been proactive about when we talk about it. It's all reactive, which is EBT is fucking our current budget and taxes up. Cut it. It's like, nah, the answer is somewhere in between, which is the things that we've already allocated our taxes to, make those that need it more aware. And you'd be surprised at what the average person would do. And I think, honestly, Ivan, if I'm being real, if I had to put it in the majority minority, I would argue that most people have to use these things because they don't make enough money to rise above the threshold. But if given the opportunity, I would argue that most would transition from it. Now, the people that are gonna do the fraud, they're gonna do that anyway. We can't stop that, right? And then even if you want to go even deeper than that, what you'll find is that this ain't even a black folks problem. The biggest scammers of the TANF, those benefits, are the Jewish people.
Yeah.
That's something we don't talk about either. Is that they literally will leverage Section 8 in a different way. When you look up fraud of these government programs, it ain't even black people that are the ones frauding and scamming, right? And so, I don't know. I'm all over the place with this, but I'm gonna land it so
Nah, I
Josh can
feel
get
you.
here, bro. Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff, but I do think the answer is somewhere in the middle of all of this for sure. What you think, Josh?
Shit, man. What I think, both of y'all said that shit already, man. Like, it's all about the bread, bro. And it's not only all about the bread, but it's who's getting the bread at the end. You know what I'm saying? Whose palms do I have to grease because I done made promises and such, whether they Democrat or Republican. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like this shit is again, you're talking about the whole political game and the system in itself. This shit is a mockery and it's an oxymoron. Like, we talk about how how this program could even benefit our community, but when you look at when it was even created, hey girl, in order for you to get this SNAP, you got to kick that man up out the house. We come up in that house, we see that man there, you and your kids ain't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? This is the same system that will give you the bare minimum to help your kids, but will freely, you know what I'm saying? Like, but will freely fuck around and abort your, your babies and shit. Like, it's like, how can a system like actually help? And the answer is they don't. They never. It was never built to help us. We would have to come up with our own system.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's a fact. And I'll argue this. I think that I do fuck with Ivan. Like you said, we went to school together, Ivan. We all, you.
Yeah, we
Josh,
good.
like, the count, man. I always respect it because I know that you're saying this from a genuine place. And this is why I know that I'd rather put somebody to you because you are a financial coach. You feel me? Like, you walk it the right way. And I think that there's a middle ground somewhere in between here that either party is trying to keep us from finding the practical solution to where this isn't a problem to the degree that it is. But I don't think it is. I think that this is just all money circulating. And you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Queen T said, that's a lot. I'm tired of y'all saying it. Please go look at the program and state requirements of Section 8. There's no man being pushed out. I think that what happened was because Queen T is more right than she's wrong. That was never a requirement. It was just one of those things that I don't know if it was an article or a specific time in history that where that was a ruling and it wasn't. More importantly, it wasn't about the man being in a home. It was the conditions of the Section 8 property that will always ding people up. Because again, Josh I think he's Borgen, right? But this is what would normally happen, Evan or Ivan. If you was on Section 8, as opposed to them worried about a man being in the house, you know what the inspectors were worried about? Are you fucking up the property you're currently in? Because that would literally make you in breach of contract of accepting Section 8. So it wasn't really women having to hide men. It was women having to deal with overzealous Section 8 inspectors that would try to ding you for every little thing. So where you almost had to keep the property in even more pristine condition than someone that was renting an apartment down the street or someone that had a mortgage. Like, it's almost as if you didn't have any privacy. So that's the other part of that, is that it won't always roses and bubbles. Yeah, you're going to get these food stamps, but if you're on Section 8, an inspector's going to come in your crib and they're going to make sure your kids ain't tearing up shit. They're going to make sure the house is clean, because now you're at the whim of the inspector to decide whether you even going to qualify for this shit on and off. And I think that what happened more often than not wasn't that the men were being pushed out, more so that they always had an inspector that could snatch your Section 8 voucher at any time because your house is too dirty, or snatch your Section 8 voucher any time because the trash isn't where it's supposed to be. You see what I'm saying?
And when it came to the man too, though, started.
Yeah.
It was that the reason was about the man, though, the thing was, of a man there, he bringing in the income, so most people was lying about the income. Is what the whole thing was at the same time. They said, well, I ain't got no man, so that they can get Section 8 because that man might have lost that job and couldn't find a job within 6 months or a year already. So they still were lying saying that ain't had no man. So when they come back, the man had to be out the house. It wasn't that it was a required by them. You had to put him out because you just lied saying that you ain't had no man. So that's how that ended up falling in play. Because like you got a man here, you got another income, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I will argue, bro, is that when you in them trenches, even if you got a man, you probably find him at the same economic level as him. And unfortunately, Ivan, a lot of those people, even with that extra income, they still would have qualified for Section 8 and EBT, bro. That was just that again, bro. Like, you know where we from, like we know couples that together don't bring in 45,000. In Berkshire right now, there's 2 people living together with some kids, and if you combine both their incomes, they might be at 40, 38. And I think that's the part that, like I said, it is more true than not, is that even with the reported income, again, it makes sense. And also they weren't married. So it's almost like, you want me to count the income of a boyfriend? How are we even considering that as a factor if there's no promise of continuity? You see what I'm saying? So even the idea of the man throwing it off would be weird, because why would I count a nigga that's temporarily here? We might rock strong for 3 years, and then when I'm doing year 4, when we are no longer a couple, he moves somewhere else. So I think that would be inconsequential, because again, it wasn't like people were married trying to come up. But I do agree with your point, though. Like here's where I can meet you halfway for sure, is that financial literacy is important for us all, right? And I do think that you serve best for sure at those that need to come off the programs, because that's my goal for all my people, is that we get to a point to where we're not on it at all. But only when the last black person don't need it will I ever say swipe that shit. But until we get good, keep it. Do what you got to do. I'd rather my tax dollars go there than for y'all to find a way to fuck it up and mismanage it. So until the last black person get off of SNAP, EBT, I ain't gonna lie, Ivan, I'm always push for that shit. That's just the type of dude I am. I'm a product of it, so I can't really disrespect it, right? In a certain type of way. I'm being honest with you, right? And that's my bias.
I'm a product of it too. I feel you.
Yeah, but I would much rather have it so that we're so educated that we don't need it. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm at with it. Where we get everybody kind of on board to where even if I'm below the poverty line, my budget is so tight that I ain't missed a meal and my kids ain't either, and we strive to get the fuck up out of it. Straight up. Because think about it, Ivan, if we use that same concept with school, a lot of us would have been able to afford college. You see what I'm saying? Like the Pell Grants and shit. Without that stuff, I wouldn't have went to NC State at all, because I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford that school out of my pocket. So that's another thing to where, it's easy to say EBT's bad, but when you start thinking about how many people have been positive contributors to their society after, taking Pell Grants, taking loans out, we didn't ever qualify for that shit, and we still wouldn't be in college if they made it that extreme. We'd be fucked. We couldn't afford it. But it's been dope, man. Let me get you to put a bow on that show, bro. Josh dropped off, man. He's enjoying the Hawaiian. So I'm a little jealous. I'm about to hop my ass off here, man, and get back to my work week. And what was your thoughts, man? Go ahead, bro.
I was all of it good, man. Like I said, for the last statement on that, man, like I said, I'm not gonna say it's bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a product of it too, but at the same time, I watch the mishaps of the money management at the same time. And I was able to see that because I had to contribute earlier. And I think that's the only thing that took my mindset of, because like, well, you getting this, well, I got to contribute this. You know what I'm saying? So that started changing thoughts. So now when I coach people, it's one thing for me to coach somebody that's like you said, you got a hand out of 50 people, man. You probably got 5 that you can coach off of it. The other 5 say, man, I don't know about doing that, because then I lose my EBT. I don't know about this, because then I lose that. When they literally can get. They holding themselves back because of the fear of making more. So it's like because they never seen that much that they can actually make. It's a fear in them about doing better for themselves, to the point where they use it as a crutch. And that's the only part with a mindset like that, is I get to the point where you know what, you don't even need it, because you can't see past where you at. You know what I mean? Because our job is to see further, to take your finances, see where you can be at and where you can go at. Like, dude, you don't even need it. You can get here. You get out of this, that, get out of that, you can be here, and here. But their mindset is, man, I don't know. And then you got to look at our community as well, man. in reality, we the brokest, we in part of the brokest county in North Carolina. But at the same time, though, we got the guys with the same rise of people that got in the highest part of North Carolina. And that's where the mix up comes. That's it, based off our lifestyle, what we choose to do with it at the same time. When we just gotta make a more sacrifice for the better better way and stuff. But I say it's good and bad. It's just for the ones that use it for a crush, those the ones I try to get off of, and I know they could be doing better.
Yeah, and I think that is really the biggest thing, man. I think that we got to free the mind first.
Yeah.
And to be fair, to frame it correctly, I think maybe less than 10 or maybe 10% of us actually uses this shit. So this is really a conversation. And, for Chile, it matters more to us because we're from a very small town that's very poor. But when we're looking at the microscope or the macroscope of Black people in America, this is a very small percentage of people. But it's enough for me to be like, okay, we got some shit to fix, but I'd rather send them out there boldly. And this is my biggest thing. Ivan, what do you think about this? Let's say that the threshold is $19,000. I don't feel comfortable getting someone, let's say you financially coaching them, $22,000 is not going to change them more. And it developed a strong habit, but I'd rather take my $19,000 workers that need this shit and get them to 40, where they're stepping out in confidence, but still have that umbrella to where we're not just going to walk you off the cliff. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, think about it. We couldn't have helped where we were born at. We couldn't help that based on however life put us here, the Most High placed in a scenario where we needed that shit. So I can't ever really see myself voting against that interest if I'm being real, or be a proponent of us removing it, because I don't know what the fuck I would be without it. And I can't, and I don't even think it's about remorse. You know what I mean? It's just more like, I don't see us leveraging the government in any way possible for our ethnic group. I don't see that any different than what anybody else does. Because like you said, the ones that scam and rip it the most, go after the Jewish community and clean them up in the upstates of New York and these northeastern places to where they're leveraging rent, and it's 10 people in the crib. And see, that's really the problem. It's 10, 20 of them. They all making way over the amount of money, but there's somebody at that residence that qualifies, and now they're paying $80 of rent, but they bring in $100,000. Once you clean that shit up, then we can come to the table to where it's like, okay, it ain't that the program is a problem. It's that y'all have to take so many hits from the real scammers that the last thing on my brain is the Black woman at a Walmart that bought a crab leg, because I promise you this shit deeper than rap. But I totally see your point, and I think that both things can happen, which is we can educate better and elevate while also keeping the fraud down and empowering people to not be stuck in a mentality to where, like you said, it's a war about the threshold. They don't even see the potential of what they can be. But that only comes with education and knowledge, and what we've been talking about the whole show. But I appreciate you, bro. Cause you up here, I'm not really going belabor it like I normally do and bang it on you. But I appreciate you coming up, man.
Oh no, you good, man.
Yeah, I know I'd have been cut this shit off. But I appreciate everybody for watching and tuning in, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all again next Tuesday. I do have about 2 to 3 other shows I'm gonna roll out pretty soon. I'm still getting some things together, but look for us to be on your YouTube streets a little bit more live throughout the week. We're gonna get back to work. I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Y'all be safe, be easy. It's all love. Peace.
All right.
End of the show, but we still on go. Straight ahead of bros, you already know. More in the cut, just line them up. Wanna talk slick, whole squad talk tough, yeah. Feel tired with the bros, let the tape run slow. When the screen go black, you still feel that glow. From the clips, from the mist, from the things you ain't know. Feel tired with the bros, feel tired with the bros. From the wild little vid to the seat they hit. Every frame, every angle, we gon' spin that lit. From the south we slide, Put that draw on the vibe. If it's strange, if it's live, we gon' press rewind, yeah. Feel tired with the bros, let the tape run slow. When the screen go black, you still feel that glow. From the clips, from the mist, from the things you ain't know. Real talk with the bros, real talk with the bros. SPS on the screen, we embedded in your mind. Hit play one time, you'll be back every time.